I like Joe Cross, what he just said. We're going to start early, on time. How you doing? Big Sills. And we appreciate you coming aboard. You know me, Big Sills likes to crawl in, and I like to get, hey, by the way, I'm going to take as many nuggets as I can from Joe. So I kind of 2 minute at the front end, 2 minute at the back end. He's like, no, we're starting on time today. So, guys, I appreciate you, and boy, do I have a show lined up for you today. By the way, Mark Farzetta will join us at 4:30. Big Z will be back in his spot at 3:30. We appreciate you guys being here. Please hit the like button. And I got to tell you, right out of the gate. So I made a prediction yesterday that said this. I said, all right, if things go the way I think they go, I believe in my heart that Tyler Steen will not start the 2026 season for the Philadelphia Eagles. Voila! Later on, Howie Roseman goes on a show, I believe it was Rich Eisen. Tyler Steen is starting 2026. Hey, Howard Roseman, I want to thank you very much for listening to the program and for your boy, Bob Lang, to make sure that you keep an eye on the program and what we're saying here, because it's truly the only place that people get an opportunity to do what? Speak the truth. Hey, and I still say this. I still think if they draft an offensive lineman in the first round, Tyler Steen is not starting. What are you going to do? Put the first round guy on the bench? Okay? What are you doing? Okay? Howie said he wants to get better, not worse. No way Brown is leaving. Funny? That's not the case. And by the way, as we reported yesterday, before Diana Rossini said it, we said that Jimmy Sexton and Tory Dandy were shopping AJ around at the combines. Funny, Diane Rossini this morning went on WIP, and I tweeted it out just a couple seconds ago. And I will tell you, here it is. Here's the exact quote. Diana Rossini today was on WIP. We had an executive yesterday who texted me back, and here, Diana Rossini told a Philadelphia radio show, which was on WIP, that A.J. Brown's agent is gauging trade interest at the NFL combines. We know this already. Chris, wrong. Wrong. Say it again. Wrong. The offense looked better without Brown. You're out of your mind. You're out of your mind. Howie did tell Mike Florio the perception is wrong about AJ wanting to leave and them trading him. Okay? That's a lawyer's answer. That's a lawyer's answer. That's not saying we're not moving him. What perception is that? The head football coach came out a couple days ago, Chris, and said, I can't guarantee the guy coming back. No. This right here, get this. It is a lawyer's answer. It is a lawyer's answer. We're not fucking trading him. Just say it. They never said it. Nowhere in the planet has the GM said, under no circumstances are we trading A.J. Brown. Under no circumstances. And by the way, I also haven't heard A.J. Brown say, under no circumstances do I want to go anywhere. Those are facts. Chris, you're with the bullshit. Sills, with the Titans trading for Jermaine Johnson, does that mean they're not going after Phillips? Because I also got them taking Bain. I think that helps the Eagles. I do. You're sitting with Patriot management and his agent. It's inevitable he'll be moved. He had dinner with him. Alonzo Highsmith had, get this, here's no speculation. Alonzo Highsmith and the Patriots had dinner with Jimmy Sexton last night at St. Elmo's. That's not speculation. That's facts. Those are facts. A front office that values competitive advantage is not going to public. There you go, Rasputin. Jason 18. A girl can't dream. Let's get it on. So, like I said, Diana Rossini, A.J. Brown's agent, is shopping A.J. Brown. Shopping him. She's there. And she sees the agent talking to other general managers about potential interest in A.J. Brown. That's not speculation. Those are facts. You're speculating and praying and hoping that she sees this. She knows this. She's talking to those folks. How you doing? Right again. Sills, can you look at the Bledsoe write-ups on Miles Hinton and Cameron Williams, Willie Lampkin and Drew Kendall? These kids may be on the field soon. Remind me of that a little bit later, and I'll do that, Bob. Seals, can Eagles move up in the draft? Caleb Downs, best safety on the board, might be the second best defensive football player in the draft. I happen to think that Reuben Bain is the best football player in the draft, but I'm a little bit jaded on that, and I'll admit that. How would that benefit Howie to say something one way or the other? It's a dumb question to ask Howie in the first place. Hey, in turn, correct. He's not going to show his hand. That's why when people are quoting him, they're dumb for quoting him. The head coach is the one that made the stupid comment. Nobody cares. Bye, AJ. Go lose on another organization. In his attitude, he's not losing. And in his attitude, he's gaining his stature back as one of the best receivers. Hey, by the way, A.J. Brown's not considered one of the best wide receivers in football right now. You understand this, right? Okay? Here. 2026. Top NFL wide receivers. Top NFL wide receivers. Let's see here. Let's go down the list here. Here they are. Puka Nacua. Jamar Chase. JSN. Ahmad St. Brown. Drake London. CeeDee Lamb. Nico Collins. Justin Jefferson. Rashee Rice. George Pickens. Malik Neighbors. A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown's not even looked at right now. According to PFF, not even looked at as one of the top 10 wide receivers in football. You know why? Because of that shitty passing game. You think numbers don't predicate that stuff and dictate how people receive and perceive you? You guys are so fucking stupid, man. You'll never get that. You will never get that. I want Messidor if he falls in the second round. I like him a lot. He's a good football player. I think he's been underrated a little bit because he's on the other side of Bain. Big Sills, last time I checked, you couldn't talk about a player on another roster in detail. That doesn't mean they're talking in detail. You can have a conversation with a football team and say, hey, listen, we'd like to see if there's going to be some type of interest, if there's a chance that, that AJ is to be moved by the Eagles. And you can't go into more detail on contract negotiations when it comes to money. Absolutely true. You can't talk money. But you can talk about interest. If my guy becomes available, would you guys have interest? Common sense, my friend. Okay? Sills found it interesting that the morning after Alonso met with Sexton, there were two reports that both Buffalo and Miami were interested in AJ. Philly trying to stoke urgency in New England. Dude, there is no doubt they're building a market for AJ Brown. By the way, hey, Bob, the new team is Jacksonville. The new team that has interest in AJ Brown is Jacksonville. Seals, can Hurts limitations be fixed? No. You coach around him. Like you coach around Joe Burrow's injuries. Got to protect him. Every quarterback has limitations. So you coach around him. No, absolutely not. Absolutely. Okay? And Reyes, how is that a silly? Of course it's not. Again, there's like a couple people that come in here to just want to debate. And when I think they have something intelligent, I'll bring them up. But until then, I won't. Because most of the time they don't have anything intelligent except just to bitch. So I don't do it. And most of the time, they're dumb. That's a narrative that was from a lot of other media people, right? I'm not giving you, dude, I'm responding to what's going on at the combines. I'm talking about what's going on at the combines. I'm not making anything up here. Hey, by the way, okay, Alonzo Highsmith is a senior executive with the Patriots. He said that the New England Patriots are going to try to get AJ. I don't know what else you want me to fucking do for you. That's not a narrative. Those are facts. I don't care where AJ goes. Remember what I said after and about Trevor Lawrence? He had those passing yards without good receivers. That's why the Jags are now in the conversation. Oh, Sales, I was talking about Vrabel talking to the media about a player. Oh, okay. On another roster. Yeah, I thought that was a little bit off limits as well. I agree with you, bro. I thought that was. But I think he was more talking about his relationship. Says, you think a Hurricane can win it all next year? I love that quarterback. I think the quarterback's better than the quarterback we had this year. I think replacing Messidor and Magala and Bain are going to be quite the issue. Miami's going to have 3 players taken in the top, I would say, 25 picks this coming NFL draft. So, Sales, they could talk interest, scheme fit, and utilization. The answer to those questions determine if restructuring should be considered. Now, that I think they can't talk about, restructuring a contract. Because I think that's a known thing that they're going to have to restructure the contract. Okay? Jacksonville just gave up their ones to get Travis. They're not getting AJ either. True. But would you give up? Would you give up to the Eagles? Would you give up Josh Allen? Alfredo, would you give up Josh Allen for AJ Brown? Would you trade AJ Brown to the Jaguars so that the Jaguars can pick up AJ, and then you get Josh Allen. Let's see what Josh Allen did and has done. Jags Josh Allen. Let's go Josh Allen. How old is he too, by the way? Let's see here. He's 28 years old. And he's got 61 sacks in 7 years, and he's 28. He had 8 last year, 50 tackles, 12 TFLs. Let's see here. 8, 17 and a half, 7 and a half, 2 and a half, 10 and a half. So he's really outside of the year he got hurt in 2020. He's never had less than 7 sacks and as high as 17 and a half. Seals, I agree. If Sexton and AJ don't like the answers to fit the utilization, they can move on to their next dinner date. That's exactly correct what they did. They had multiple dinners. Guys, this is inevitable. This guy's being moved. You could sit there. I believe this guy's being moved. Eagles want a 1 for AJ. He's not yet 29, but the crying in could be descending. He says he's fine, but those hamstrings. Let's see. Look at this guy. He's never been there. I've been there 6 times. I've seen it how it works. Have you ever fucking been to St. Elmo's on Combine Week, guy? Ask anybody with intelligence that's been there. I've been to this place 6 times. Every fucking agent on the planet is having multiple dinners and lunches at St. Elmo's right now with most of the general managers. Do you even know what the fuck you're talking about? This guy is like, this guy's like a wannabe. I mean, bro, he's like a wannabe guy. I think AJ's faking hamstrings. I don't. I actually have, Sills. You're right. Chris, you can't get in that place, right? And when you go there for like the staple is obviously the shrimp cocktail. You get 4 shrimp cocktails. It's awful, like spicy, right? I've gone to the Combine 6 times. I know how that shit works. You bet your ass. Get this. Hey, by the way, you know how you build a market? You have multiple conversations with multiple teams, asshole. Like I said, it's not tampering when you're not talking contract. You once again don't know what you're talking about. What I love about putting Reyes up here, he clearly doesn't know how the fucking thing works. As long as you're not talking restructuring and contract, you can have interest conversations. Plus, you have multiple players on those teams. It's not just about one guy, dude. You think Jimmy Sexton and guys like Drew Rosenhaus have one fucking player they're trying to pimp or working on a contract extension? This guy knows shit, man. He shows you right there. The common thing that fans don't know is that they don't know. That's exactly what goes on in these things. Bro, not talking to you again about what goes on at these meetings. You have no idea. You have zero idea what goes on. Okay? I'll tell you what, douchebag. I happen to have been a guy who was drafted in the fucking 56th player taken. I've gone through the process. I was almost drafted as high as Jalen Hurts. So what the fuck would you know? We're not talking about playing fucking multiple years. We're talking about going through the process. Have you ever? That'd be a no. Sit back and listen, dude. Sit the fuck back and listen. You would have no idea what you're talking about. Do you think Nick was forced to change the offense? Yes. Why would you change something that you're 50-18 in? Thoughts on, hey, by the way, hey, M. Reyes, I came out as a junior too, douchebag. Thoughts on wide receiver Denzel Boston, Sills? He's a perfect AJ replacement, big body X receiver to complement Smith. Reminds me of Mike Evans. We'll do more deep diving into that a little bit later. Remind me, KC. We'll look at that, all right? 2021 Eagles made the playoffs without AJ. Rookie Smitty and Quez Watkins did enough to make the playoffs. Did have Shane Steichen taking over the play calling. Yeah, but that was just a team that showed up. I promise you. Just, hey, by the way, remind me, okay? We're keeping the same offense with more creativity. Hell yes, Hills. Got to be annoying hearing how it's from someone who's never played sports at your level. It's not so much that. It's going through the process. I've been through the draft process. I'll tell you this. Let's see here. I was drafted. Let me see how many players I was drafted ahead of that you have on your football team right now. I'm not telling you I'm better than them. I'm telling you that I had a process more so than they did. So here, let's take a look. Guys I was drafted ahead of on your team. Hurts was 51. I was 56. What pick was A.J. Brown in the second round? Could somebody tell me? I might have been drafted ahead of A.J. Brown. What draft pick was A.J. Brown? Let me take a look at that. A.J. Brown. What pick was Brown? 51. Oh, 5 picks ahead of me. Let's see. Dotson, no. Dallas Goedert. I guarantee you I was drafted ahead of that guy. Let's see. Dallas Goedert. I've never done this before, ever. Like, Dallas Goedert. Was I drafted ahead of this guy? Let's see. Dallas Goedert. No, he was the 49th pick. These are great picks. I was drafted way ahead of Malata. He's a great football player, and that's a great pick for the Eagles. How about Landon, I think, was a high 2, wasn't he? Landon Dickerson. Let's see. Landon, 37th. He would have went in the first round. He totally would have. How about Cam Jurgens? Cam was a 2. I know I had to have been drafted ahead of Steen. Let's see. Tyler Steen. I was 5 picks ahead of A.J. Brown was 5 picks ahead of me. Let's see here. Tyler Steen. Oh, he's from Miami. I didn't know that. 65th. I was drafted ahead of Steen. Mauro Jomo I was drafted ahead of. Zach Bond, I was drafted ahead of. Let me see if I was drafted ahead of Nakobe Dean. Let's see here. Nakobe Dean. Yeah, I was drafted ahead of Nakobe Dean. Dory Jackson. Reed Blankenship. Andrew Makuba. Was I drafted ahead of? No way, I couldn't have been drafted ahead of Cooper DeJean. No way. He was a 2, right? He was a high 2. No way. He has to be in the 30s. 40th. Okay. My point is, I've been through the process. AJ's going to whoever can offer the most. It's that simple. No one knows whether the Eagles will be good or bad, But this time to move on from AJ may be good for a few weeks, but after back complaining, listen, let me do this again. AJ is going to whoever can offer the most. It's that simple. No one knows where the Eagles will be, good or bad. I agree. But it's time to move on. AJ may be good for a few weeks, but after, he'll be back to complaining again. Absolutely true. Absolutely true. You mean Jimmy Dean? Well, Jimmy Dean, that guy's never hurt. Sills, does the trade happen during free agency or draft night? I think it's going to happen more so draft night. Sills, AJ to Jacksonville is interesting. Josh Allen has some big cap numbers, and Trayvon Walker needs to be signed long-term on his 5th year. So we have AJ's cap hit plus major financials for either guy. Both would have to restructure. Both would have to restructure. AJ leaving is accepting a rebuild and it make it real, Sills. Hey, Twiz, it would be a complete rebuild. I wrote this down here. Twiz, if that guy leaves, you're a 7-win football team. What's the key to running the West Coast offense? Running game. You got to have a running game. You got to have play action. The Eagles have no play action. Hey, have you ever seen a pro offense with no play action? The Eagles run an offense with 0 play action. That's right, timing, Leon. That's right, timing. Anticipation throws. Anthony, that's right. It's anticipation throws. They're not running. There's no way they could run a full West Coast. There's no way. Your quarterback can't do it. Do you think AJ would take a look at trading? Do you think Cleveland would take a look at trading AJ for No. But AJ to Cleveland, that to me, because didn't Cleveland get first round picks because they sent, because Jacksonville moved up, right? And Jacksonville moved up and Cleveland's got multiple picks. So Cleveland has multiple picks. That kind of makes sense. Right? Because they got multiple picks from the Jaguars because of Travis Hunter last year. Let me see here. Okay, we got to go with common sense here. He's done everything you said he couldn't do already. No. Really? He'll never throw for $4,000. He'll never be a progression reader. He doesn't have check down abilities. He can't throw a screen to save his life. And he is nervous in the pocket. And he has 0 pocket presence. And he takes 40 sacks a year. That team wins in spite of that dude. I'll tell you this. I'll take that back. He's a good player. He is. Browns have 5 first-round picks in the next 2 drafts. Dude, Cleveland's the place. Cleveland is the place. Sills, is it fair to say this O-line scheme should be more zone blocking than hat-on-hat? Absolutely. Area blocking is when you're West Coast. It's an area blocking. Yes. Can't play action if your quarterback panics under center. Well, hey, Rasputin, have you ever seen Jalen Hurts run play action? Have you ever seen that guy run play action? Have you ever seen that guy throw screens? Have you ever? Do they even have a screen game? They have no. Do you understand, Rasputin? This is why this guy doesn't throw for $4,000. It's not because he can't. I think in today's NFL, hey, Rasputin, I think in today's NFL, anybody can throw for $4,000. The reason Hurts can't is because they don't do the things to help them throw for it. They don't throw screens. They have no play action. And how do you not ask yourself this question here? Okay? Ask yourself this. 2024, do you guys think that was one of the greatest rushing years of all time? Do you think that was one of the greatest rushing years of all time? In 2024, the Philadelphia Eagles. Okay? Do you guys, how many people in here believe that 2024 is one of the greatest? I do. It was one of the most iconic years. Okay? See this here? Okay. Hey, Leon, let's go DFW. How do you not run play action with the most iconic run game or one of the 5 greatest run games of all time in 2024? Can you imagine Brady with a 2,700-yard rusher? They couldn't defend him. How do you not run play action when you have the best running attack in football? They never attempted it. How do you not run play action? Do you know why Troy Aikman was successful in Dallas? Emmitt Smith. They ran play action with Emmitt. You got to defend Emmitt. Okay? So that's the coach. The coach won a Super Bowl doing it that way. You can't say the coach was stupid. That's Xander's point. The coach was so stupid he won a Super Bowl that year? That's actually not a very good JoJo response. The coach won a Super Bowl that year. Why don't you think you ever ran play action in the year you had the best running attack in football? Now you're going to try to run it with a lesser running attack? Make that make sense. How do you not run play action and screens when you have a back that's going for $2,000? Thank you, Flex, and hit the like button. You can't say the coach stunk. They won the fucking Super Bowl. So how do teams balance drafting for need and going for best player available? I hate for us to pass a dominant player because the roster is set in a certain position. Yeah, you're not looking for a left offensive tackle in this draft. You don't need that for 4 years. And if the left tackle, what you do, Jimbo, is you trade down a couple spots. That's what you do. If you got a duplicate player and you see a guy and you got a younger player like Mulata over there at the left tackle position, what you do is you trade down. And what you do is you pick up multiple picks by trading down, and you trade down to a position of need. Remember, there is only 15 first-rounders in this draft. Legitimate first-rounders. The rest of them are kind of all the same. Okay? The rest of them are kind of all the same. If this is the last hurrah for Jalen's arrow, we did good. Went spectacular. Completely spectacular. Sources say AJ's agent is down at the combine asking teams about a trade without permission. How do you know that? How do you know that the agent hasn't been given permission? Original. How do you know that? That they're just not keeping it behind the scenes. It's not like the Eagles that go out and tell you their business and how they're going to operate. That's like telling you, well, we're going to bomb this place here before you do it. How do you know they weren't given permission? How do you know that? And I guarantee you, if Jimmy Sexton is out gauging interest, the Eagles gave him permission. Jalen, ironically, would be the best running back of his era. He's a great running quarterback. Hey, get this. If you want to talk contract, yes. Did you see Anthony Richardson got permission to talk trades? So that means before the legal tampering, the Indianapolis Colts have given Anthony Richardson and his agent the ability to cut a deal. And when that deal, if that deal works for the Colts and for the player, when March 1st, March 11th comes, they'll trade him. And they'll just wait. So, yes, the Colts gave permission today for them to speak and work a contract out with a team and a potential trade. Kyler Murray's agent has been given permission to seek a trade. What makes you think that Howie Roseman didn't tell Jimmy Sexton, hey, if there's a team out there, plus you know what it does? It tells Howie what the trade value is without him asking for A.J. Brown, and he can always say this, I never moved the player. Okay? Here. Let's see here. Because M. Reyes is just the dumbest fucking guy I've ever seen in my life. Colts have given quarterback Anthony Richardson permission to seek a trade. His agent told ESPN on Thursday the latest twist in the young player's complicated career. Richardson has been given permission to seek trades with multiple teams. He was the fourth player taken in 2023, per ESPN. This is how it works. And when Diane Rossini is reporting that Jimmy Sexton and Tory Dandy are looking at other teams and talking to other teams about a potential trade opportunity and interest in AJ, it's preliminary. What are you missing here? Seriously, and Reyes, people are telling you to your face and you're not believing it. No. Getting a rise? I think it's wonderful to show an idiotic person who doesn't know dick about how the process works. No, I think it's wonderful. Rossini hates AJ. Why? Because he's reporting the truth? Seals, play action would require Jalen Hurts to turn his back on the defense. Jalen Hurts has a hard time reading the defense. Correct. He can't do that. That's correct. I think that's a great, most important question now. Let's see. Diana Rossini went on WIP this morning and said, yeah, the agent is in Indianapolis and has spoken to multiple teams. Shit, I gave you one guy that texted me back and said, yeah. Last night, Lonzo Highsmith texted me back and said, hey, remember I said that we're looking at this as an option here, but the Eagles have to play along. And because obviously somebody went back and told him that I brought it up on my show. And I would bet you anything it was the Eagles. And when Xander put that out there, that bit that a Patriot executive had contacted me, okay? So get this. Sills is trying to convince us that AJ's is allowed to seek a trade without any article or public announcement being available. No, I'm just talking and saying to you that an executive texted me yesterday and said, we're looking into possibly trading for him. And Diane Rossini just said today that A.J. Brown's agent, who she spoke to, Jimmy Sexton, they're out looking for interest in the market for A.J. Brown. I don't know what else to tell this guy. I'm really not sure what else to say, man. Bro, conversation's off with you, bro. You refuse to hear what other people are saying that are there, and you're sitting in your old lady's basement, and you're fucking, what's the lie? RC, what's the lie? What's the lie? Who's lying? Are you telling me? I showed you the text back from Alonzo. Diane's saying that they're shopping the player and they're looking for multiple teams that might have interest in trading for A.J. Brown. What's the lie? My sources are lame? Like who? General managers and head coaches who come on this program? I've had multiple head coaches, multiple general managers that have come on this program. What lame sources are you talking about? Your sources don't know what they're saying. You stretch stuff and lie. Wait a minute. I'm not stretching. Lie? What did I lie about? Matthew, tell me what I lied about. What did I lie about? What am I stretching? What am I lying about and stretching? Tell me. To make that statement, I want to know. Maybe, and if you think why are you holding back a lot? No, I'm asking you a question. Answer the fucking question. What am I stretching and lying about? Tell me. I'm waiting. What am I lying and stretching the truth about? I'll give you a couple more seconds here, guy. What am I lying and stretching the truth about? So when you're saying this, I'm curious. What are you? No, I want to know. Some dude that's nobody contacts. You're talking, I have nobody contacts. Got it. Hey, folks, this guy says I have nobody contacts. And I don't know anybody in the league. Okay. Have a good day, dude. Hey, Flexen. He must be new to the program. Okay? Yeah. Go tell that to Doug. Peterson was on 2 days ago. Unbelievable. Okay? The NFL Combine is the equivalent of the Major League Baseball meetings. Right on. Okay? This is where a lot of deals are made, put together. Absolutely true. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Please hit the like button. Thank you. Sills, once Howie openly authorizes Sexton to seek a trade, he loses leverage. Howie has to sell the fact that AJ is staying, so teams need to pony up and get him there. Correct. I don't know what's wrong with some Eagle fans, but so sensitive. Absolutely. Hey, it's great. No. It's all good. See, because they're great for the algorithm. And so I hope Matthew continues just to be in here talking to Ether. It's all good. Flex, dude, has everyone blocked. Because perfect. AJ's gone. Just get us the most out of the value for the guy. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, here's the next topic. Has AJ said that I don't want to be traded? I do have Ice Cube on speed dial. Oh, wait a minute, Leon. No, I don't, according to some. Has AJ come out and said, hey, listen, I don't want to be traded? Has he said that? Has he said, I do not want to leave Philly? Okay. Well, hey, Josh, there's a new report today, douchebag. AJ's the biggest story at the combines. You don't have to be here. This is not the military. October 25th, CBS Sports. He doesn't want out. October 25th, old news. Has AJ, wait a second, CBS Sports, he doesn't want out. Has AJ Brown said himself, I don't want out? Typical Philadelphia guy. That's not AJ Brown. Has AJ Brown said, I do not want out? I don't want to hear a fucking report. I want to hear it from him. Now, I'll ask you the other one. Has Howie Roseman or Nick Sirianni said, in no way, shape, or form are we trading A.J. Brown? Yes or no? Simple, you can end all this. And like that guy said, all those topics go away. They all go away. Why haven't they ended it? Why haven't they come out and said this? Howie's doing multiple shows. First question out of the gate is A.J. Brown. Why doesn't he just say this? Because he doesn't have to? When you're being asked by multiple shows, the first question is A.J. Brown being traded, and you answer it with a lawyer's answer, the answer is this. They can't answer the question. They won't answer it. They won't answer it because they're looking. And when Diana Rossini is saying they're shopping the guy, and the story, you could easily put this away. Rich Eisen could have came and said this. Hey, are you moving A.J. Brown? You're under By the way, you know what else is really wild, Brian? Brian, unlike M. Reyes, who has the leverage here? Okay? Who has the leverage here? Who's got the leverage? The Eagles have him under contract. Why don't they just do this? Well, all of a sudden now, the reports are coming out now that multiple teams are having interest right now. And that there's about 8 teams that are showing interest right now in trading for him. Here, Jacksonville's a new one. The Browns seemingly are now in the mix. Eagles get Eagles to the Patriots. AJ to the Bills. Here, NFL on CBS. Listen to this answer. This was how many minutes ago? An hour ago. Howie Roseman on if the Eagles will listen to trade calls for A.J. Brown. We're in the business of keeping great players, and A.J.'s a great player. It's not a fucking answer. That's deflecting. Bro, why doesn't he just say, we're not trading him? Hey, Bob, will you explain to these guys? He had an hour ago. An hour ago, someone asked the question and said, a guy on CBS, Rich Eisen asked it today. Who else asked it? Mike Florio asked it this morning. 3 different people asked him. And get this, he answered it the same way. We're in the business of keeping great players, and AJ's a great player. He refuses to say we're not trading him. He said they don't want to, but they will always answer the phone for anyone. Again, a lawyer's answer. Well, I'm with you there, Sills. They're horrible at answering questions. They're not going to answer. They're just not. AJ said he wants a quarterback who throws on time. Realistically, how many quarterbacks actually throw the ball on time that they're even an option for him to go to? I'm going to tell you something, Tyler. I know people looked at Drake Mays, but Drake May did throw for $4,000 last year. And Drake May is an up-and-coming young quarterback. He just put a team in the Super Bowl. You guys don't want to give him any credit yet. When Jalen Hurts went to the Super Bowl in 22, that was all I fucking heard. Is that Jalen Hurts got the team to the Super Bowl. Well, I don't know how many offensive superstars are on that. Get this. How many superstars are on that? Name me one star on that Patriots offense. Name me one star. I'll tell you what, though, dude. They beat two fucking teams that beat the Eagles. Oh, Drake may... Wait. Name me an offensive player on the Patriots. Stephon Diggs would be a 3 in Philly. Diggs ain't a star, dude. There's 0 dudes on that Patriots team. There's 0 dudes. How'd they get to the Super Bowl? How'd they beat the Texans? How'd they beat the Broncos? How'd they beat the Chargers? Oh, I know. When it's your guy, it's the quarterback. When it's that guy, he stinks. It doesn't matter that they made it. They lost. Same shit everybody said about us in 22. That's not my point. My point was they got a young, good-looking quarterback that's going to be a future in the NFL. Missed the whole point. Seals, AJ and Philly need to downplay the chances that they may maximize the value of both sides. I'm not sure AJ does want to be on the Browns or the Jets. I'm sure of that. He does not. He didn't throw a single ball on time in that Super Bowl. Yeah, because he was going against top-flight defense, as he did the entire playoffs. Every single defense he played against went in the top 6 in defense. You played against a makeshift 49er team, and they still beat your ass. And he did play trash in all 4 games. I've seen Hurts play like shit in playoff games numerous times and win. Do you see a trade with Jags, AJ for Trayvon Walker? Depending on what the money is. Is like a trade and sign? I don't know. More excuses. What was your excuse for losing to the 49ers? Let me guess, bad coaching. And not players. Is that right, Prince? Bad calls. Bad players. Where was your fucking defense in that game against that shitty make-down and washed-up offense of the 49ers? They didn't have George Kittle. Well, your defense fell apart against that team? What was your excuses there? We sucked. Okay, fair enough. For me, that Niner game was the biggest indictment on Sirianni. Correct. He had no answers. Biggest playoff win, Hurts played like crap. He was awful against San Francisco in 22 and awful against the Rams in 24. Listen, can't get away from the NFC Championship game and the Super Bowl. I don't really think he played all that hot in that Super Bowl. He won the MVP. I thought he was exceptional in the 22 Super Bowl. I thought there were 2 other guys that should have won that award that day for the MVP. But hey, it's a quarterback award now, and most quarterbacks get that award. I know Kenneth Walker, but to me, you could have given it to anybody on defense from the Eagles. He was great in the 22 Super Bowl. 24 Super Bowl, I thought he was okay. Passing fluid went out with Kelsey leading schemes. With Hurts leading, scraped Moore's offense and learned on generational Stoutland running game. That's because Kelsey set the passing and the pass protection, Sean. And Hurts evolved into that Moore's offense with the running attack. And like you said, a generational running attack that they had a year ago. And can you imagine this, Sean? You had a generational running attack and a quarterback, I can't remember, ever ran one play action pass out of it. Can you? Ask yourself that. You had a generational running attack and you didn't run any play action out of it. Why? What quarterback in the NFL doesn't utilize the passing game with the run game? Can you name me one? I mean, bro wasn't awful against the Rams in 24. He wasn't? Let's see here. Rams. Eagles. 2024 playoff game. Either they're the Packers. Let's see. $15 to 20, 128 yards in a divisional game. Let's see. So he had 128 yards passing. Let's see what the team had passing in that game. The Eagles had 65 net yards passing in that game. No, you're right. He was great. I'm not even reading this. Pathetic. Why doesn't Cam get any slack for not getting protection like Kelsey? Jalen gets the blame for everything. I'm sorry? Why doesn't Cam get any slack for not setting protection like Kelsey? I think that's a great take. I do. Hey, original. I think that's a great take. But I don't really think their pass protection was that bad last year. Okay? The Eagles had the second most play action attempts in 24. And how did you have the 28th ranked passing game? You were ranked 28th in passing in 2024. He's saying that they had the second most play action, and they had the 28th ranked passing attack. So Patriots will probably trade their 31st pick if they get wiped out on the first rounders on draft night. Yes. Okay? Yes. Twitch, you could be a poet. That was a... Did I miss it? Did I miss this? Yes. Question. Sills, you said it yourself. Hurts won the Super Bowl against Steve Spags, and he made it look easy. He was really prepared for that game. But I really think that the 2020. Hey, Jose, do you personally think that Jalen played better in that 22 Super Bowl? I thought he played better in the Super Bowl. All right? I did. Okay? 24 play action was lining up Barkley next to Hurts and half-heartedly faking a handoff. I know. Rasputin. I know. I know. And when the run game went away this last year, they ran none of it. Only Sills would be mad at a team was 28th in passing while having a no. Well, once that running game went away, your passing attack had to carry the football team, and it couldn't do it. What do you mean? Get this, folks. He says I'm the only one. Will somebody enlighten this guy? Who else is mad? Somebody else enlighten this guy on who else is mad about the passing game being 28th with a 2,000-yard runner. Will somebody do something to me? Well, help me on this. Who else is mad the last 2 years? Help this guy out. Enlighten me? Easy. A.J. Brown's pissed. A.J. Brown. That's why he wants out. I'm not mad. A.J.'s mad. A.J. Brown's mad. He's the one pissed off. I mean, not me, guy. There's your enlightenment. Why do you think you got agents that are shopping the guy around all over Indianapolis? Jimmy Sexton's one of the busiest guys on the planet. We don't need a top 10 passing attack, just not bottom 10. I would agree with that. I would agree with that. This guy DFW is turning out to be a heck of a viewer. Thank you, bro. You went from being somebody that I took a shit on to somebody that I'm really liking talking to here. You should be at least 15th in the passing game with a kind of running game. Hurts never had it easier to throw than 24, and he never will. Hey, DFW, I bet you Eagle fans think that Saquon's going to get back to 1,800 yards next year. Never happened. Not with that running offensive line. Sills, with the Eagles doing two moves this from last year with players and now with coaching, where do you think they're going? Is this a trolling? Honestly, my friend, listen, I said this. Right now, I don't see him anything more than a 7-win football team. Now, if you make more significant moves, by the way, let me show you something more delusional. The Las Vegas Raiders, they want 2 1s and a player for Max Crosby. Fuck you. Not happening. You keep that guy. Have at it. I have no interest in. And $35 million? Okay. You want to know what delusional is? That's delusional. 2 1s, and I got to take on the $35 million? I mean, hey. Right? DFW can't answer why Dak chokes when we had 4 teams with the top 10 offense. He had a top 10 offense and defense. Well, I would say this, Twiz. How come Jordan didn't win a championship until his 6th or 7th year? Was he choking? Was John Elway choking? So you're trying to tell me, hey, Twiz, do you think that Sam Darnold's a better quarterback than Prescott? Let's see Twiz and see what kind of guy he is here. Twiz, do you wait? Okay, no. I'll compare him to Sam Darnold. You think that Sam Darnold's a better quarterback than Dak? You think he's a better quarterback than? Okay. Do you think that Sam Darnold is a better quarterback than Dak Prescott? Okay. Is Sam Darnold a better quarterback than Dak? Sam got over the hump and proved. I asked you a question. Do you think that Sam Darnold is a better quarterback than Dak? So a guy who was fired 5 times. Let's see. Jets, Carolina, San Francisco, 4 times. And Minnesota. And now he's on his 5th team. You think that Sam Darnold's a better player than Dak because he won a Super Bowl? Fucking stupid. Can't be dumber. Dak also has problems against top-rated defenses. Every quarterback has limitations. So let me get this right. Guy who's been fired 4 times is a better player than Prescott. Okay. Who had a better season last year, Darnold or Dak? Prescott. Prescott had a better year. Absolutely. Prescott can't play defense. Look it up. Number 1 offense in pro football. I don't know what else to say. Couldn't have done any more. Darnold and Hurts winning makes it more of an indictment on Dak because he has had good teams within the last 10 years. Well, okay. I'll give you that. You think Jalen had a good team last year? Absolutely never. I make $60 million a year, and I've had number 1 offenses in my entire time. I never would he trade. Nor would I. Nor would I. One guy makes 30, the other guy makes 60. Any other guy's a better player. If you're under the impression that Sam Darnold's a better player than Prescott, you're out of your fucking minds. Dak can play under center and Jalen can't. That's why play action works with Dak and will never work for Jalen. Correct. Sileo with bad facts like always Smith TD in the Super Bowl was play action. Put your fucking sentence together, douchebag. What happened to Dallas when they had a good offense and defense? I didn't say he didn't win. I got you. He can't lose to Green Bay like the way they did. Yes, Darnold is better than Dak because he has accomplished more. So let me get this. If you're on a team and you accomplish more than another player, you think that player is a better player because he's accomplished more on a team. Then that means this, JAKIB. You think that Sam Darnold is a better football player than Dan Marino. Is that right? So you think Darnold's a better player now because he won a Super Bowl and he's more accomplished than Dan Marino. Is that correct? Is that what you're saying? So, JAKIB, you believe, okay? You believe. No, again, this is why people like Prince don't get why AJ wants out. AJ wants out because he wants his numbers, not because he wants to win. And you're missing it. Hey, Sills, hope you're doing well. Thank you, bro. Why does AJ want to leave a winning environment? Anybody? Or how about this? Why does okay, well let's hold you accountable. Why does AJ want out of a winning environment, you think? I'll let you answer this, Prince. Why is his agent shopping him now? And why is he unhappy here? He's winning. Shouldn't he be happy? I'll wait and listen. How come he's not happy? I'm waiting for Prince here. I'm going to give him the floor here. AJ Brown's in a winning environment. You just got through telling me that, accomplishments. Why is he unhappy? Why is his agent shopping him then? Shouldn't he be happy? Well, wait a minute. He's winning now. Why isn't he happy? Now you're saying, well, because it's a run offense. So you're saying the offense doesn't fit what he wants to do. Is that what you're saying? I don't want to put words in your mouth. How can you be not happy? You're 50-18 in the last 4 years. You're not answering the question. Why is he unhappy? Why is his agent? I'm not asking you that. Why is he unhappy? And why is his agent shopping him in Indianapolis? He's winning. Answer the question. I'm waiting for you to answer this. Why is he unhappy? Anything, Prince? He's a lunatic. Wait a minute. Stop making it seem like I don't give a fuck about it, Jalen Hurts right now. Why is the wide receiver unhappy and his agent is shopping him if you think winning? Get this. Stop deflecting. Answer the question. Why is he unhappy? Why is his agent shopping him away from a winning environment? Let's see if this guy can answer it. I'm waiting, dude. Why does he want out from a winning environment? If winning, you told me why. What was it? I missed it. Here, let me see. Let's see. He said I missed it. Let's go back here, Prince. Stop making it seem like it's Jalen's when the changed the philosophy to run the offense. But he's in a winning environment. You said he should be happy because he's winning. And winning and accomplishments matter. It's not Jalen. I never said it was. Dude, run first offense. So he's unhappy because it's a run first offense, which means he's prioritizing himself over the team, correct? Because he wants more numbers. He'll be happier not here with the quarterback. Either it's run first offense and he's not happy because it's a run first offense. You say he's getting his numbers, but why is he unhappy and wants out then? Because it's a run first offense? But he's still getting his numbers. Why does he want out? If the guy's still getting his numbers and it's a run first offense, why does he want out? Prince is telling you he's getting his numbers. They're winning, but he still wants out. Why? And he's not happy in the offense. How could you be not happy in the offense, according to Prince, if you're getting your numbers? You got ring, you got money, you got winning. Why is he not happy? Because it's a run first offense. But Prince just got through telling me he's getting his numbers. I'm confused, dude. Oh, he's not getting his numbers now. So he's not happy because he's not getting his numbers now. But he's still winning, so winning is not a priority for him. I'm just trying to figure you out here on where you are. And why he's like not happy and wants his agent. And they're shopping him. His agent is trying to find out interest in Indianapolis and what teams would want him. That's all I'm doing, dude. Okay, he went from 1,400 yards in a season to 1,000. Okay. But Prince, when he won the Super Bowl, and they won the Super Bowl, his numbers went down, right? According to you, he should be happy. Isn't that right? He should be happy. They won. How come he's not? Because it's a run first offense. So he's not happy because it's a run first offense. That's why AJ's pissed. Like I told you, dude. Players don't sit around fucking worrying about winning. Once you get the ring, it's about legacy now. This is about legacy. This guy wants his numbers. AJ doesn't want out. When has he actually said that? When has he actually said how about this? Why doesn't he come out and say, I don't want to leave here? Why doesn't Howie come out and say, no way in hell are we moving him? As a matter of fact, I'll give you the quote today. Howie Roseman was asked about an hour and a half ago about A.J. Brown. Are you listening to trades? We're not in the business of keeping great. We're in the business of keeping great players, and A.J.'s a great player. That doesn't mean they're not trading him. Why is the agent then, according to Diane Rossini and me talking with Alonzo Highsmith yesterday, why are the Patriots talking to Jimmy Sexton about the potential of moving him to New England? That's a fact. The executive director of player personnel texted me during the show yesterday, and I showed the tweet. Why is that going on then if there's no truth to it? Why is there no truth to that, JAKIB? Individual stats get him his third contract. Correct. You're not getting. How about this? DFW. Do you agree with me? A.J. Brown's not getting a $32 million contract with those numbers. He's not getting a $32 million deal. Ain't no fucking way. Right now, you wouldn't pay A.J. Brown $20 million for 1,000 yards? Yeah, okay. Dude, George Pickens is getting franchised for $28 million because he had like 1,700 yards or something. You think A.J. Brown's getting a contract of 25 to 30 million bucks with 1,000 yards? Based on what? Sills, didn't you say the league figures you out? So then you said Jalen Hurts didn't look good this season because we had a coach who ran the same plays and same things last year. Am I right? Sills, didn't you say the league figures you out? Yes. And you said that Jalen Hurts didn't look good this season because we had a coach who ran the same things. Correct. Yes. You are right. Why do you think they ran the same things? And you won 11 ball games? Because the quarterback is not capable of doing more. I'm talking about getting another contract. Sills, you have no credibility on quarterback play. No, just how coordinators like Dave Wannstedt or Lamar Leachman or guys like Buddy Ryan who coached me and guys like that on how to prepare for quarterbacks like Steve Young and Joe Montana. And you do, right, Zesma? You've actually game planned against somebody like Montana and Elway. Is that right? Am I right when I hear that? So like when you game plan against Joe Montana and when you play against somebody like Dan Marino, there's some of the quarterbacks I played against. And when you're game planning against those guys, you think we don't have any idea what we're doing, what we're trying to do against those guys. Yeah, okay. Okay. Sileo is a stat V's accomplished guy because guys like Sileo were never an important piece on a team. Actually, Josh, that's how players are paid on numbers. They're not paid on team wins. They're not paid on team wins. Quarterbacks are a prime example of it. You don't even have, you have zero idea what you're talking about. Every single top 10 quarterback, except for one, has won a Super Bowl. That is making north of $55 million. Not one has even been, very few have been to an NFC championship game. They're not paid on wins. What are they paid on, Josh? Josh, what are they paid on then? It ain't wins. So when somebody like Trevor Lawrence is making $55 million, what's he being paid on? Curious, this is what you think he's being paid on. What's he being paid on? Anything? Not a lot of wins. I'm curious. What's he being paid on? I call them accomplishments. You call them stats. Okay. Production. Better word. They're paid on production. That's correct. That's the highest paid quarterback in NFL history with a whopping 2 playoff wins in 12 years. Astonishing stuff by Dallas. Why is he being paid? Why are all those quarterbacks that are in the top 10 being paid then? It ain't on wins. Hey, Gator Boy, let's see the top 10 guys. I'll do this exercise again with you guys here. Top 10 paid quarterbacks, pro football, 26. Top 10 QBs being paid 2026. Let's see. Top 10 quarterbacks being paid. Here you go. And here's the money. Prescott, 60. Been to an NFC championship game? No. Burrow, Super Bowl, $55 million. Burrow. Okay. He's number 2. Allen, no Super Bowl. Let's see who else. Love, 55. How's he being paid? No Super Bowl, no NFC championship game. Trevor Lawrence, 55. Never been to an AFC championship game. Tagovailoa, never been to an AFC championship game. Jared Goff has been to a Super Bowl, but he wasn't paid until now. He's making 50. So we'll put Goff in there. Brock Purdy, now being paid 53, has been to a Super Bowl. Purdy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Herbert. He has been to an AFC championship game. Lamar. He hasn't been to a Super Bowl. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. In the top 10, there's only 3 quarterbacks that make 51 or more $million that have been to Super Bowls, and none have won. What are they being paid on? They're not being paid on wins. How can that be? So when A.J. Brown wants out, what do you think he's looking for? Another Super Bowl? Fuck no. He's looking to be paid. You missed the point. You guys don't get it. You think this is high school football. This is professional football, dude. This is paychecks. Paychecks rule over wins. You can keep your ring. You can give me 60. What would you rather have, really, a Super Bowl ring or $60 million? And if you say the ring, you're dopey. How many people in here would rather have a ring than $60 million? Ask yourself that. Would you rather have a ring or 60 million bucks annually? What are you talking about here? Don't you get where AJ's coming from? AJ's trying to maximize his body, his skill to the best of his ability. Okay? Wait a second. That's not what I'm saying, Prince. He's going to maximize his time in the NFL to the most. 1 year when I could do it for 7 years or 6 years? Hey, dude, you're not thinking correctly. Didn't he get paid last year? What's that got to do with shit? You're trying to maximize the most money as you possibly can. Okay? Why? He'll be a primary target like he was here. That guy threw for 4K last year. Hurts is never. I don't think Drake May had a 1,000-yard receiver last year. I don't know how that guy threw for 4,000 yards. What's false? Oh, yeah. What? Let me see. Yeah, I disagree with Yell on that too. Prime example. Absolutely, 401. Myles Garrett is going to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And he's making $46 million. You can keep your ring, dude. 46 annually over the next 5 years? It's a stupid conversation. I'll take the ring over 46 annually. No, you wouldn't. Ask your wife that. Would rather have multiple rings than 60 million. Yeah, we're talking about the perfect world. How does that work? Okay, Diggs had 1K. All right. Thanks, dude. Thanks, flexing. Sills, can you pull up the Bledsoe report on Chris Bell? I told you I'm going to get the new one on Monday. Okay? I'm going to get the new one on Monday. No, Sills, I get what you're saying, but if AJ were smart, and I happen to think he is, and I think you think he is, the Eagles would pay their players before their contracts are even up. So why would he leave that? Why, Prince, you're asking a question you know the answer to. He wants those numbers. A.J. Brown's not considered a top 10 wide receiver right now. I think he is. And I don't think he's lost a step. By the way, the Eagles are going to tell you they think he lost a step if they do trade him. How could you lose a step with a quarterback who doesn't throw on time? So the quarterback doesn't throw on time. AJ's lost a step. Well, how could you tell? How could you tell if the quarterback threw on time when the quarterback doesn't throw on time? I mean, right? How could you tell? Sills, in the upcoming draft, and AJ leaving, when do you think the Eagles would take a wide receiver with all of their other needs? I'll tell you what, I think this is the biggest decision that is going to dictate your NFL draft. And it's going to dictate your strategy in what you do. Because I've got to tell you, if A.J. Brown does get traded, I'm not drafting an offensive lineman. What, to put him on the bench? Where are you starting him? Over Steen? So you're replacing a starter with a first-round pick. That's not getting ahead. I need to replace, if I have to replace Brown or Phillips, your two biggest issues right now, there's two of them, and it's going to affect your draft strategy, is A.J. Brown and Jalen Phillips. Jalen Phillips made an absolute difference on your defense and really set every level. Every single level. Linebackers played better. They were already playing well. The secondary played exceptionally better, and the front seven settled down, being able to set the edges. So you got a third rounder on his ass. Here, let me get another one here. Let me ask you this one. Okay? Let's just go with M. Reyes here. And let's go positive. Okay? Let's ask a positive question. Do you think they're going to change the offense enough to make A.J. Brown happy? Yes or no? Do you think they'll change the offense enough to make that guy happy? What do you think? Yes or no? So you think they will? So you think then according to Real, you think they're going to change the offense dramatically then? And not subtly? Because you would have to change the offense drastically to suffice and to make him happy. Is that what you're saying? Well, I don't believe they're doing that. I heard John McMullen say, and a lot of others say, they're going to run a lot of the shit they're going to run a year ago. They're just going to add a little bit more. You think that's going to make the wide receiver happy? How you doing? Holy cow. Xander almost got me in trouble yesterday because he posted it. Alonzo saw it. And so I get a text message. He goes, now remember, we're not talking contract. And I said, I got it. I go, how were those Swimpies? And they go, the Swimpies were good. Who was at the dinner table? He goes, I'm not telling you anymore. And I go, wait, whoa. Have you talked to Jimmy Sexton? He goes, I talked to Jimmy Sexton about numerous players that are on our team. Ah, okay. So you did talk to Jimmy Sexton yesterday. And he goes, not just for who you think. I go, who? I'm not saying. I don't want it on tape. And I'm going like, okay. So now all of a sudden, Diane, get this. There's two things that happened on the greatness of JAKIB today. You ready for this? So I said Tyler Steen. I got to bet with people that Tyler Steen's not going to be the opening day starter. Wham! Howie's out there going, Tyler Steen is going to start 2026. And I went, Jesus, they listened to the show. And then I said that there were dinner reservations with my guy Carmine. See, Carmine is my boy. Carmine in Indianapolis is the maitre d' there at St. Elmo's. Carmine, what's going on? How many times has Jimmy Sexton been in the building? He goes, 5 times. Torrey Dandy was in here too. I go, so let me ask you this. I said, did you see him with Howie Roseman? Bro, I can't tell you that. I said, was Howie Roseman in there for dinner? He goes, yeah, him and Nick. I'm like, what time? Da-da-da-da. Got it around 2:30 on Tuesday. Great. Hey, Jimmy, Big Sills. Yeah, I saw you got a dinner date for 2:30 today. How do you know that? Thanks a lot. I'll talk to you later. So we're just working the numbers here. With all that being said, how you doing, baby? We have now, get this. So Big Z is in the mountains now. He's overlooking like a resort area now. Yeah. I don't know if he's going to go skiing or what, but without further ado, this guy's like in like a log cabin. Without further ado, my friend Big Z joins us now here on the show. How you doing, bro?
What's up, Big Sills? How you doing, brother?
So you going skiing? Is what we're doing here? Is that, hanging out, going skiing?
No, I'm not going skiing. I'm in Tennessee at the Smoky Mountains. So it's pretty dope out here, actually, man. It's a long, winding road goes up and down like this, through the mountains, and there's log cabins every half a mile. So
You
you
freezing
got
your
a lot of
baguettes
stuff.
off?
No, it got warm.
Okay, good.
50 here is different than this morning. It was chilly when I was doing the show out here, but now it's nice out. The sun just went down. The sun was out. It was nice, but yeah, it's Sills. When you tell me my closest neighbor is a half a mile and I preferably longer, but I'm a happy guy.
Me too.
That's my kind of living. I don't want to be able to throw a stone and hit my neighbor's house. All right. That's what I like. So it's nice out here, man. It's cool, pretty cool.
Yeah, somebody asked me to go on a cruise once. I said, that means I got to sit next to somebody? Not
oh my gosh, a cruise? No, a cruise. I will never go on a cruise. Ever.
Yeah, that ain't working for me either,
ship?
dude.
No.
No, that's not working either. All right, here we are. Diane Rossini now, after Big Sills puts it out there that the Patriots yesterday are going to express interest in A.J. Brown. Now, I guess it's a real thing that Diane did it. Fine, okay. I know Big Sills is Big Sills, but now reports are coming out now that Diane Rossini is saying that Jimmy Sexton and Tory Dandy, the agents, are now looking at interest potentially for A.J. Brown. Does the Xander meter sway in any way whatsoever now on pluses or minuses that 11 is back in the building?
Wait, all right, we got a couple things to address before I give you the answer to that question. All right, I'm going to leave you on a cliffhanger. One, yesterday was the first day I wasn't on your show in a long time. So it felt a little weird to not check in with you when there was a lot of things going on.
It felt weird for me
in
too,
Eagle
dude.
Land.
It did.
No, now here's my question. Did you get yourself into trouble again with your friends because of is this what happened, Sills?
Well, we'll tell you this. So Xander posts this thing with Highsmith, and all of a sudden I get a call from Alonzo and I got a call from an executive from the Patriots. He goes, I want to clarify. We weren't talking restructuring or contracts. We were just talking about.
Yeah, you're going to get him a fine.
I go like this. I go, listen, no. He goes, we were just talking about interest and if there would be interest if the Eagles had the door open. So I followed up with this one executive that wasn't Alonzo. You know what I asked him? Did the Eagles give you permission? Did the Eagles give you guys and Jimmy Sexton permission to seek a trade? He wouldn't answer it. So I'm under the belief that the Eagles could have given Jimmy Sexton and Tory Dandy some type of latitude to seek interest. And by the way, I don't think this would be anything that would mean that the trade would happen, but doesn't that tell you that Howie's probably looking at what the trade value is of the player? And if he hears multiple teams are wanting to give ones, twos, because he could shut this thing down by just doing this, can he, Xander?
Right.
I had no interest. They have the leverage. The guy's under contract. They could just go like this. This is stupid. He's not going nowhere. But they're not saying
this that. This is a story made for Sileo. I mean, it's a top to bottom. It's a story made for Sileo. I mean, so you're going to be hearing a lot of it. The Xander meter, let me just tell you, it needs new batteries. I can't get a read today. I have to troubleshoot a couple things in order to boot it back up. Last reading, I had what? 80-20 that he was returning. Yeah, that thing might be broken. I'm not sure. I mean, it seems to me, Sills, like it's really a bad move for the Eagles to do it just because of the contract and everything. Like, you're not going to get the return for the player. You might not even be able to get a draft pick this year. You're going to eat a bunch of money. You're not going to get a player back who's as good. So it feels like a lose for the Eagles. If you think that the bigger loss is having a pouting player, well, that's quite the take. I mean, I don't agree with that. I'd rather have the pouting player than, bad return on investment, bad capital investment, bad, a worse player and a worse draft pick. I mean, I guess you're adding a draft pick, but a lesser draft pick from what the player is worth. So it's a tough situation, man. I really do. I think the Eagles are. I wonder if it's one that maybe even has Howie a little stumped on what to do. I'm not sure. I'm just speculating. I wonder, because it's not that it doesn't seem to be that easy to thread, but I did think Howie was more honest this week, dude. Like when I listened to I listened to him on Rich Eisen, I listened to his combine presser, and then I just heard what John told me about their on the record but not public, sit down that they have with their reporters. But he was more honest, and I don't know if that's to protect himself or for another reason, but I did think that was interesting.
Well, here, do you believe they're going to change the offense enough to make AJ happy?
No, not really. I mean, I can't say for sure, but I've been talking to John every morning, and what makes the most logical sense, that doesn't mean it's going to be true, but what makes the most sense right now, given the information we have, they're not going to make that much changes because, I mean, they're going to make changes, obviously, but like John's been saying this, and I think he's right. He's like, how much are they really going to change? Is this really going to be the West Coast offense? Or is it going to be a different look at the run game to try and get outside zones and different things working in the run game? With all that being said, they might be a better offense, but they're certainly probably not. Well, not certainly, but they might not be a better passing game. And that's where I think A.J. Brown's missing out.
Okay. So if that's the case on what you're saying, I'm so happy you're going down the lane here with me. Do you think the Eagles start looking at AJ being a $32 million decoy?
Yeah, I do think they look at that.
Is that not worth him being out there at $32 million? If we're going to be isolating more on the run game and improving the run game, doesn't that diminish and make it stronger for them to move him?
Yeah, but I mean, if they're gonna, yeah, it's a good point. I mean, if they're going to implement anything though of the West Coast sort, which I don't know if they're going to or not, you would think AJ would be. I mean, he's not the perfect fit, but AJ can get yards after the catch. I mean, if you got the guy you want running across the middle of the field making the catch is probably AJ Brown. He can break a couple tackles. I mean, that's kind of AJ's game. He's a physical player, so I think you would want that, but maybe not, man. I don't know, man. This is a tough situation here.
It is.
Brown. Yeah, it is. I don't think it's
the players in the middle here of what you want to do with them.
Right. Yeah. And
I think
it's also one of those.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead. You go.
I was just going to say it's also one of those things where it's like, are we denying ourselves to act like we don't know what AJ Brown's going to be doing next year? Like we've seen 2 years of him kind of pouting on the sidelines. Wouldn't we be fools to sit here and say, oh, it's all going to be good this year? It doesn't really work like that. I think he's probably going to be somewhat upset again. Now, I know people hold on to his first 2 years here where, he's setting records for 125-yard games and he's got, 1,500 yards, but that's, going on 3 seasons ago now. So, it's going to be hard to justify that if you don't see that early in the year.
You still think he's a top 10 wideout?
Right now, no. I mean, based on 2025, he's not. Do I think his capability still is there? Yeah, I do. But the interesting question about that, and I wonder if you agree with this, is that all pro receivers are obviously great receivers. And the marginal difference in skill level that makes the top 10% or top 10 in the league versus just an NFL wideout is marginal, but it makes that big of a difference. Like, in other words, you could have one guy up there 1 year and not there, depending on production, depending on quarterbacks, depending on so many, like Justin Jefferson. I mean, was he a top 10 receiver this year? Not really. Is that because he's not a top 10 talent? No. Could he be again next year? Absolutely. That's kind of how I feel about AJ. But my question with AJ is, I saw a lot more drops and I saw a lot slower player last year. And he's turning 29 now in June. So how is time catching up to him a little bit? That's probably fair to wonder.
I don't think time caught up with him. I think his mind caught up with him. And that was a trait that came with him out of college.
Yeah.
Was that if he wasn't engaged, he had problems with drops. That was a thing at 23, Xander, and that's a thing at 28. That's not changed. That is a zebra stripe. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
That's a zebra stripe. Can this be fair to say about top 10 wide receivers? I think Devontae Adams is a top 10 wide receiver, but he doesn't have top 10 production because he's an older player. Guy knows how to get open.
Well, so what's
Guy knows how to score.
Yeah, right.
And sometimes you don't see the overall production, but you know when you throw that guy the ball, that guy has skill set that shows you where he's still a top 10 guy. He may not have the production, but you still see.
Well, that's a different gauge, right? Like that, it depends. Like, how are you doing your top 10? Because sometimes, and like for example, if you did a top 10 wide receiver in, let's say, week 14 of the year, you would gauge what numbers were. That's a different list to me than, if you're looking at raw talent. Like I get what you're saying with Devontae Adams. I mean, he's a freaking beast. I mean, now he's a little older now, but man, he's a great player. He's one of my favorite receivers in his, in his prime. But
Green Bay,
I don't think AJ right now is a top 10. Dude, there's a lot of good receivers in football right now. There really is. I think the two guys in Dallas are better than AJ right now.
Okay, so if he's not a top 10, why are Eagle fans expecting a one back?
Well, because I think the perception exists that he can get back to being a top 10, just like we just talked about. You know what I mean? And just like Justin Jefferson. Is Justin Jefferson not
with a different quarterback?
I have my reservations, but I think that if somebody's going to give a one, it's because they'd have that belief. I mean, I have my personal reservations because of what I said. The drops. Is it just me, or did AJ look slower this year?
I thought, to me, AJ looked less engaged. I think that was more of a perception thing for me. And again,
maybe, but dude, it didn't look like he could hit those burners like AJ's a bigger, he's a stockier wideout, but you remember the 22 Super Bowl?
How many times did you catch yourself saying this? Man, he's really not running that route hard.
I know.
That's not losing a step.
That's right. That's not speed. Yeah. Yeah, but couple that now with 2 years have gone by of that.
Okay.
Now you think just a change of scenery is going to bring, you might, that athletic prowess doesn't stick with you forever. I mean, ask any player to ever play, So I agree with you. I think you're probably right in the past, but in the future, he's only getting older. Add that with, that he's getting older and maybe he's not as engaged. Well, I don't know. This is a tough one to thread because it's such a lose for Howie. I mean, you're probably not winning. Remember, Howie won the Wentz trade. As hard as it was to win that trade, he won that trade.
And he won the AJ trade.
Well, he won the trade for AJ because he acquired a great player. I'm talking about getting rid of.
We didn't know he was that guy in Tennessee. Nobody.
It's hard to win a trade sales where you get rid of a player.
Oh, absolutely.
It's most of the time when you trade away a player, you're not going to get equal value back for him, which is why it's hard to win the trade. Like even Thomas Booker, we traded away Thomas Booker for Ja'Cory Bennett.
Yeah, no,
we lost that. We were on the losing end. The Raiders thought they won that trade. They did. We didn't win that trade. The Eagles did not win that trade. But I don't know. I don't think he'll win that trade. So we'll see. You're right. Bears fans in here saying how he's a Hall of Fame GM. He is. So we'll see.
How about this here? Do you think AJ is a little bit tired? And do you think his body has taken a toll by being in a run-first offense in Tennessee and in Philadelphia, where he wants to get away from that and extend his career? Because let's face it, dude, when you're in a run-first offense like you were in Tennessee, you were blocking for Derrick Henry in that offense.
Dude,
now you're blocking for Saquon Barkley, and if they want to continue to improve the run game, that means I'm blocking more downfield. Jamar Chase, bro, ain't blocking shit in that Cincinnati offense. Yeah, you think JSN's blocking like they're blocking? They're not blocking like that in that offense. So do you think also he's looking to extend his career a little more here too by not being in a run-first offense?
Yeah, I do. And you know what else, Sills, what you just reminded me of, what, no information here, but just a speculation or a hypothesis, I guess, if you will. Is there a chance, dude, that A.J. Brown is just like, it's not even about the Eagles. Like, dude, he just wants to go to Tennessee.
Yes.
Eagle. Like, he's every year of his career, it's been run first, not a high volume passing attack. Maybe he just wants to go and run free, and he doesn't care about wins or Super Bowls or any. Remember the post he made? Like, you think back to that post after the Super Bowl, and you're like, dude, he just wants to go and be a great receiver.
Yeah.
And there's, that's
bro, thoroughbreds want to run.
That's what I mean. That's not that crazy to me that he wants to do that, but that would make it not a good fit in Philly anymore. But I can also understand that. I mean, when you think you're as talented as you are, you want to reach your pinnacle, and Sig Lord's right. It's selfish in the game of football because the game is not a selfish game. But from a personal standpoint, I just think that's, it's at the very least, it's understandable. It doesn't make it right, but it's understandable.
You think A.J. Brown, and by the way, you could really just stop all this too and give A.J. an extension like they did Saquon Barkley.
No, don't do that. Why? The player? Why? What is he going to do?
You would lower the number. You would lower the number. You would get a little more cap relief.
All right, I got $20 million a year. You want to take $20 million a year, AJ?
Here's a bag of money up front, AJ.
$20 million a year annual.
$20 million a year, and here's a new contract extension with a new guaranteed signing bonus.
All right, well, that's a $12 million haircut.
No. I'm not saying take a pay cut. I'm saying I'm going to help you out here.
Okay, well,
giving me guaranteed money.
Yeah, well, no. You didn't play good enough to get an extension with a raise. An extension comes with a raise, right?
Yeah. Okay. Well, I thought Howie loved him. You know what I'm loving about this whole process? My favorite thing is this. So here's this thing was answered. Howie wrote.
Well, you're missing the easier one on that, though. I mean, why aren't they going to give Jalen a raise this summer? He's due. He's not even a top 10 paid quarterback in the fall. You think his agent's not calling? Well, I mean, it's the same reason though. Like, you don't give A.J. Brown an extension and a raise for a bad production season.
Bad. Okay. Bad production.
If you're a top 10 wideout, 1,000 yards and 70 catches is bad. Yeah, it is. If you think you're a top 10 wideout, not bad, but you know what I mean. It's relative. Yeah. It's not
32 million.
Right. Well, you're the one looking to give him 35.
No, I'm looking for love here. Like the guy here was 2 hours ago. This is 2.5 hours ago. Howie Roseman, boy, I'll tell you what. I heard John and I hear everybody going, man, I'm all AJ'd out. Well, I'll tell you what. A.J. Brown is the number one topic of conversation at the combines right now. So get used to this. He is the number one conversation. And get this, Howie Roseman was asked this 2 hours ago on if the Eagles will listen. I want you to listen to his answer. To trade calls for A.J. Brown. We're in the business of keeping great players, and A.J.'s a great player. Yeah, how about doing this? Fuck no, we'll never trade the guy, and that's not happening. Just end the conversation. Why not just say this, Sander? I have no interest in trading the guy, zero. And why doesn't AJ come out and go, I have zero interest in being traded? Why can't you know what?
Howie's got to.
Aren't you a very direct guy? If you don't like something, you're going to tell somebody you don't like him. Are you going to go like this? Well, Sills, again, you don't dance around shit, do you?
But Sills, I'm not an NFL GM. Remember, there's an art to it. Like, even if you want to be honest, you can't. Because you have to if you want to create the market to get what you need to get back, even if
Who
you
said
don't
that?
want to trade him, but
we
you
were
have that.
creating a market for him, though.
Well, you want to create optionality, don't you, in your life? I mean, don't you want to create optionality? If you don't have an on-ramp, you're in a worse position than, okay, I got a couple ways to go here. You know, if plan A fails, I got plan B. Now, I know you're a plan A only guy. That's kind of how I roll too, but we're not NFL GMs. Howie's probably thinking, well, this gives me an off-ramp. If I got 10 teams calling instead of one, I'll take that. I can gas the market up. I can get more.
Would you trade him?
No. But, you know,
Would you trade him
wouldn't.
even if you knew he was going to bitch?
Dude, here's the thing. If they're going to, this is what I have a hard time with, because I understand what people say, bitch about age. I understand Sigler. Like, I get that. He's selfish and you don't want that. And you don't want a player moping, because that does impact the younger player, the impressionable young players on the team. Are you telling me that we're going to go and compete for a Super Bowl, you know, after getting rid of A.J. Brown, Dallas Goedert, Nakobe Dean, Reed Blanket? Like, I'm sorry. I understand that some of these guys are replaceable, but we couldn't replace Milton Williams and Josh Sweat. We fell flat. We had to go and trade. We all sorts of different things. So I don't think we're a legit Super Bowl contender if we don't have A.J. Brown. I really don't. Now, that doesn't mean I'm blind to what he's done and the annoying shit about it, but do we sound like a Super Bowl contender? So you're going to trade A.J. Brown away for draft capital. You're going to let Dallas Goedert walk for $8 million. You're going to let Reed Blankenship walk, who was a starter in the secondary, and you're going to let Nakobe Dean walk. And then with a straight face, you're going to tell me we're a Super Bowl contender? That's what plummeting teams do. They acquire draft capital for good players.
That goes to my next question to you. Are the Eagles trying to subtly tell us they're in a rebuild? And they're trying to do it on the fly? Well, all those things you just said.
Nobody's better.
Wait a second. All those things that you just said, that surely sounds like it to me. You just got through saying.
Here's where they deserve some credit. Here's where they deserve some credit. They have been able to rebuild on the fly better than other teams. Now, not a long history of it, but they were able to do it in 2020 in a pretty impressive timeline. I mean, they had a bad year in 2020 when the injuries were all over the place. The O-line was depleted. You know, obviously Carson Wentz played like shit that year. That's when Jalen Hurts got put in for the last 4 games. They bounced back 9 wins next year, and then they went obviously to the Super Bowl in 22, and they've been a great team ever since. So they were able to do it with them. Do you think Howie believes he can do it again?
I do too. I do, yes.
And do you believe he can do it again?
Yes. Because I saw I'm watching John Schneider. I watched John Schneider do it.
I tell you what, if they get a 1 back for A.J. Brown, then I think they'll be on their way to doing it.
See, to me, John Schneider.
But I'll also think that we're not competing for a Super Bowl in 26. Yeah, because if you're taking a 1, isn't it presumably in 27?
Yeah, it is. Now, I'm trying to find out if you restructure it and you get the money and both these guys restructure, can you work that to where it's a draft pick this year? And if you don't have to carry the money. So I'm still cloudy on that, on what they can do with that. So again, if you trade the player and you do restructures, does that mean that I get the pick this year or next year? Personally, for me, I'd rather have the first round pick next year, because I'm going to have more question marks next year, because guess why? I'm going to have more decisions to be made on who's staying and who's going.
Dude, I agree with you, but you're also of the mindset already that the Eagles are selling. Now, if that's true, and maybe they are, like, I don't know if they are. I mean, if they let all these guys walk and they trade AJ, it'd be hard for me to come on this show and deny you. But that's a signal you're selling. If you trade AJ for a 2027 first round pick, you're not trying to win this year.
No, you're kicking
That's
can
what
down
Dallas
the road.
did last year. That's what Dallas did last year. Think about that. Trade away our great player for future. Trade away our great player for future picks. Yeah, but they knew they weren't in a position to win last year. They didn't even try. Jerry said that.
Okay, but I'll tell you what they did do. You're damn right. They looked at 2025 and went like this. We're not going to contend for the NFC Championship, and we're not going to contend for the NFC East. But what we will do is we'll start getting better. They got Clark. They got Williams. They got a first-round pick. They got 2 1s. They're setting themselves up for 27
and
that was
for the future. Right. So that's what I'm saying to you, though.
Right.
The Eagles are they're white flagging 26. Which I think would be tremendously stupid.
Well, I think okay. How do you think they feel about that?
I think that'd be stupider than trading.
How do you think they feel about that offensive line? How do you think they feel right now as a unit about that? Listen, your defensive front 7 right now with Davis and Carter in there and with Jalix Hunt on coming up and looking like he could be somebody. I can fill that other side with Messidor or somebody in the draft if I don't re-sign Jalen Phillips. I feel great about my backers. I feel pretty good about that front 7. How do you feel about that offensive line right now? And I've been trying to point this out to you the last couple shows that, dude, you're going through a transition in the next 3 years. And I think your question today to John was exceptional because if you're drafting a 1 and it's an offensive lineman, and it's at 23, dude, and that dude sits on the bench, and he's on the pine over there because you don't want to put him in for Tyler Steen. You need help today. You need help at corner, and you need help, in my opinion, at edge. Corner and edge heading into this season. And if you're putting a dude on the bench, and you're trading A.J. Brown, and you're not bringing back Dallas Goedert, I don't know where you are right now, bro.
What do you mean you don't know where they are? They're building for 27. If they draft an offensive tackle in round 1, that's set to go on the bench this year, and they trade A.J. Brown, I mean, you might as well throw the white flag. They're not even trying to win next year.
And do you know what that means?
You use your first. Think about it. You use your first-round pick for future, which I understand why they're going to do because Lane's not going to be easy to replace, and you get rid of your best receiver. Dude, I mean, come on. You don't need. There's nothing to be said. Nick shouldn't be fired if they don't win big.
But here, get this.
Because if they're not down doing what it takes to win.
If they draft an offensive lineman, okay, it tells you Dean's out. And I'll tell you why. Because you're not going to have 2 first-round picks on the frickin' bench from your last 2 rounds. Do you agree? You're not putting Jahad Campbell and the guy you draft this year 2 1s on the bench.
No, you can't do that.
That would be the end of Nakobe Dean.
Yep. Yeah. Unfortunately, unless the Bond thing is true, I mean, it's just the reality. I mean, that's not going to happen, like you said. I mean, I often wonder. I think Jahad Campbell's a great player, but I do wonder about if Howie would have played that differently in hindsight. Not that he regrets it, because I don't think you regret getting great players. I don't. I really don't. But I do wonder if in hindsight, Howie's like, I probably would have went a different route there, thinking I can get Nakobe for $7 million. Well,
they wanted Walter Nolan. Remember, they wanted Walter Nolan.
How was his rookie year? He had a pretty good rookie year, didn't he?
When he was injured at the beginning, but when he came on, Sweat's game went through the roof.
Yeah, right. In Arizona, he got drafted.
He's a good-looking prospect, but remember, that's the guy who Howie wanted. He wanted Walter Nolan. Now, look, I don't have a problem with the pick. I really don't. I don't have a problem with the pick. All right, let me ask you this. Okay, I get this one down here. The loss of A.J. Brown on the offense, how does that affect the new run game that the new offensive coordinator is going to try to install if he's not on that and in that huddle?
Sun's going crazy. Sorry about that.
It's all good.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be a big impact. Yeah, that's going to be a huge impact. I don't know. I mean, how do you see what they're going to do with that? Because with all these changing pieces, that's my brother rolling up to the house, honking the horn.
Hey, tell him hi, man. Tell him hi. Tell him to get me alone.
Wait, where do you think on that? The run game?
I think personally they're moving further away from AJ and moving. Here's what I think you're going to do.
But does that mean another back into the fold?
Follow me here. I think they're moving further away from AJ, and they're trying to now establish Devontae as the one. They want another receiver that has that skill set, and they want another guy that looks like that. To me, what they'll do is they'll get another one. I don't know, a 2-3, maybe free agency they'll bring in that can catch footballs coming out of the backfield. I think the new offense, they're going to try to implement the tight end more. I do think they're going to want to try to get Goddard back in the building. But I also think they're going to draft a tight end as well. And they may go multiple tight end sets this coming season. That's how, to me, that you help Hurts out. Go 2 tight end, get a guy that can catch the football, and you start to evolve the offense into throwing. Like, look, you're looking for wide receivers like Jamar Chase now and JSN and Devontae Smith. You're not looking for those blocking backs down the field. I think they're getting further away. I think they want to establish.
So you think they're going to 2 tight ends and they don't got one of them on the team right now?
I think they're going to try to bring Goddard back and try to go into the draft to bring another one in.
All right. Well, then
you're how else are they changing the offense then?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's fair. I think a second back is a good idea. But
yeah,
people, it doesn't seem to be, a popular topic, but I think it would make sense for this team, for this offense, and for Saquon. I mean, I don't know what are Saquon Barkley's best days behind him.
That's a great take. I think they are.
Are AJ Brown's best days behind him?
I'm not sure there. I'm not sure there. I'm for him. Here. It's a great conversation.
Are Landon Dickerson's best days behind him? Are Cam Jurgens? Cam Jurgens had one good season. He's already cooked. Is that what you're telling me?
I'm not sure yet. I can't go there.
I don't know either.
Are Jalen Hurts' best days behind him?
Yeah, that's the tough one. I don't think so. No. But it's possible. I mean, he is a dual threat player, and the history of the dual threat, and for the most part, from what I know, is they dominate early in their careers because that's when their athletic prowess is at its highest. And if you're not able to lose that part of your game and still win, or dominate or be able to put the team on your back, that's when I think there becomes a big drop off. Now, Jalen hasn't had the most prolific last 2 seasons. He hasn't. I don't think it'd be unfair to say, similar to AJ, his last 2 years were much lesser than his previous 2 years.
Huh.
So that's a trend, and it's worth keeping an eye on. But
is this a fair
my
take?
number one question in the offseason, Sills, it's still the same. What version of the quarterback are you getting?
Is this a fair take then? Since Saquon Barkley has joined the team, the passing game has regressed.
100%. Now, it was never a top of the top anyway, but it's 100% regressed.
And now they're trying to restart it. Is that right? They're trying to restart it.
Maybe.
Okay, see. 2 last ones here for you. By the way,
this is starting to get a little depressing.
Yeah, because I think you have a lot of massive moves and decisions to be made before March 11th. Guys, hit the like button here. I appreciate the supers. We're going to get to them here in a minute. Mark Farzetta is going to be with us at 4:30, by the way. We'll talk to Farzy here on this. Are you buying those Diane Rossini? Are you
Yeah,
buying?
I'm buying them. That's my brother's dog coming over to say hi to me. He just got here.
Oh, that's awesome.
Hi, buddy. That's Ranger. Yeah, I'm buying them. Diana's plugged in. She doesn't make shit up. But here's the thing: it's all coming from other teams because other teams believe that the Eagles are getting rid of AJ, just like you believe it. Just like anybody who's not an Eagle fan who's looking at all the tea leaves is saying, well, there's quite a bit of smoke over there. Let's go and check that out a little bit. I don't think she's here. I don't think she's being dishonest. No, I just don't know if she's right to put a 90% number on it because you don't know what Howie's going to do. If you tell me Howie's going to lose a trade and he's going to know it, I'm going to have a hard time believing Howie wants to make that deal.
Wait, what? She put a 90. Wait, I didn't hear this. She put a 90%.
No, I don't think she put a 90% number.
I was good.
I don't think she did.
I
threw that out there because I hear people talk. I hear people saying this.
Yeah, because I said 80-20 big sales. I got it. I'm 80-20 on this here. Woo, man. How much is this? Do you think Howie has a strategy in the draft yet? Or do you think everything is a domino on this whole thing with A.J. Brown?
Well, he's certainly a big part of it. I mean, if AJ's gone, it completely changes what they're going to do in round one of the draft. No?
Complete.
Right. Who's crying? I mean, I think so, right? I mean, dude, if they trade AJ and then they
wait a minute, is M. Reyes at the cabin too? Did I hear somebody crying?
Yeah, that's M. Reyes crying. That's M. Reyes crying. That's my nephew crying like a little girl. I'm gonna go in there and roast him.
Oh, good.
I told my other nephew, he always steals one of my hats. It's like his favorite thing. So I'm wearing this hat, and then he's going to take it from me, and I'm going to let him have it. So he'll have this hat. He'll take my JAKIB hat.
How far is that drive from where you are in Philly?
It actually wasn't bad, dude. I left right after my morning show yesterday, and I got here around 8:30. So I think it was like 10 hours.
Not bad.
10 hours.
A lot of snow you drove through?
Yeah, I made pretty good. Oh yeah, I wish I took the Corvette. I mean, it would have been a fire drive, man. I would have been, but I also probably would have ended up with a.
Bro,
I also probably would have had
that thing, man.
Not in a ditch. I would have had a state trooper on my, and behind my rear view with his lights on. So I didn't want that. But no, it was a nice drive. Not bad though. 10 hours or so.
That's good, man. We'll read your supers in here in a second. Here, we'll get to those. Don't forget, Farzetta will join us here at the bottom of the hour. Hey, how come Jalen Hurts hasn't said anything?
What do you mean? What do you want Jalen Hurts to say?
I want my guy back.
Stop.
Oh, so
that's not Jalen. You want Jalen to not be Jalen. It's like
no.
Jalen he's never done that. Why would Jalen do that? But Jalen, that's not Jalen's person. He's not going to come out publicly where he also already doesn't care to make statements publicly about much of anything other than promotions, which is fine. He's making money, just like you and I want to make $1. Just like Jalen's making money on promotions. Outside of that, he doesn't really put much out.
I remember Joe Burrow coming out and going like this.
That's because Joe Burrow's a different personality. Much different. Also, Joe Burrow's a little, I'd rather I'll take Jalen's personality over Joe Burrow's. Dude, he's fruity.
You don't like the blonde hair?
I'm just not a fruitcake kind of guy. I feel like he's a whiner. He's a fruity guy. I'd rather have Jalen's personality.
There's no doubt that guy has his nipples pierced. I'm with you, man. He's kind of a weird guy. So I'm.
Wait, is this true? You compared Dak to Jordan today?
No. Quiz is full of shit. What I said
full of it.
I compared this when I said that. I said that Jordan didn't win for 7 years as a player. Was he considered overrated? This dickhead is making that sound like I said that. He's Michael Jordan. Because Twiz likes to twist it around. So then you know what I said? I went like this. I said, so you think Sam Darnold then is a better football player than what we were talking about with Dan Marino? But as Twiz once again tries to twist BS into BS, I never compared him into that. I said that he was talking about overrated players.
Twiz, keep him on his heels, Twiz. I might be joining Twiz, by the way.
By the way, get this.
You know,
So
you know where
Jordan,
Twiz lives, Phil? Twiz lives in the boonies, man, in West Virginia. He's like what I explained it to be. He's got his nearest neighbor is like a mile away.
so wait, Twiz has got a still somewhere?
I don't know what he's got, but I'm, you know, sometimes I'm jealous of Twiz where he puts in the morning, I'm going to feed the animals. I'm like, with no annoying ass people around you, that might be glorious.
Absolutely. Hey, do you want me to read it? Because I don't know if you can see them. Can you see these things?
I could see him.
All right, hey,
I mean, you can read them if you want. If you
no,
want to
no,
do the
no,
honors,
I'd rather have you do it. Trust me, we're better with you.
Here's
doing
Cody.
it.
What's up, Cody? Just got here, fellas. Anyone else hear about a potential Justin Jefferson trade to Philly involving AJ and some picks? No, I didn't hear anything about that.
Oh my God, that would be the ultimate. Having Justin Jefferson with Jalen Hurts. Justin Jefferson would mutiny. He would go. No top wide receiver wants to play here. You have to extort him to play here.
I think Justin Jefferson would be happier here.
Oh, I don't. You know why? Well, wait. You couldn't get a.
I don't know, dude. He might want to win.
Wait a second here. I got one for you. Not one. You couldn't sign one decent OC. You had to sign a guy who was a practice squad coach.
But Justin's had a different career. I mean, you got to take that into account. AJ was never known early. You know, he wasn't a first round pick. He didn't catapult into the league like Jefferson did. I mean, you could make an argument today, and I know it's going to sound crazy, but I legitimately mean it. I'd like you to ask Jason Coley. You could make an argument today. Justin Jefferson's already a Hall of Fame receiver.
Yeah.
Gonna be a Hall of Fame receiver. Yeah. You know, with how many? I mean, he surpassed Randy Moss for the first year, or whoever it was, Randy or Jerry, one or the other. You know, for the yards in the first 4 years. I mean, that's different. I think he might be like, yeah, I'll take 1,200 yards in a ring.
So you think he needs to get? I think you could be right. I think you know what, because I think AJ. You think AJ winning that ring? Then I think that's a great take, also by you. AJ winning that ring. Now he wants to go get numbers. Yeah, is that where you're at?
And remember, you pointed out he's been with a run first team for every year of his career, behind Derrick Henry and behind Saquon Barkley. And the only 2 years he wasn't, by the way, he had 1,500 yards. He probably looks at it like, man, I got to get away from these good running backs.
So listen to this, what your point is. His first year in the league, he had 1,400 yards. This is Jefferson and 7 touchdowns. His second year, he had 1,600 yards and 10 touchdowns. His third year, he had 1,800 yards and 8 touchdowns. He got hurt in 23. Get this, in 9 games, he had 1,100 yards and 5 touchdowns. And in 24, he had 15, 33, and 10.
Dude, he's going to the Hall of Fame.
These are just tremendous.
Those are Hall of Fame numbers. Yeah, they're insane. It took A.J. Brown 8 years to do what he did in 5.
This guy's already got 600 receptions.
How many career receiving yards does he have?
8,480.
8,480 in what? 5 years?
1, 2, 3.
AJ
4,
has
5, 6.
And AJ has what?
Like 8,700.
No way. How many more seasons has AJ played? Just one more season or 2 more?
Let me see. Let's see here. Let me go. I'll get it. Let me bring that up. That's a great.
I'm trying to load. Yeah, AJ has 8,029.
AJ Brown has 8,200 yards. How many more years has he played?
No, 8,029. He's played 7 seasons, AJ.
He's played one more year, and Jefferson has more yards.
So
Jefferson has more yards.
So that's not that crazy.
Yeah, but wait.
That's not that crazy.
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's got 7 years. He got
no, that's not that. That's not as crazy. That's not as big of a discrepancy as I thought.
It's actually not.
No, it's not. It's not. That's because AJ had back-to-back 1,500 yards here. Dude, that's a lot of yards.
This guy had $3,000. Boy, I never thought AJ Brown had those kind of numbers, man, in his career. I mean, That's not terrible. Now
No,
I see
not
why.
at all.
Now I see why he wants to go somewhere and get legacy and get to a quarterback that can get him the ball.
Yeah.
I do. Let's get another one here.
Yeah. All right, let's do it. Couple more here. Here's Kyle. What's up, Kyle? You think they go secondary early? They've been meeting a lot of prospects already. I saw that, but I wouldn't put too much stock in that.
Do you think
John's
they're ever
right,
going?
dude? Howie came out and said cornerback is not a weakness. We have Quinlan.
So cornerback 2 is not a weakness. CB quarterback 2 is not.
You have two great corner sills.
Okay, I asked you if cornerback 2
Dude,
is
you
a
have
weakness.
two great cornerbacks. You can't.
He's a slot corner.
Was Adoree Jackson the reason they lost football?
No. Oh, so they're going to look at that cornerback 2 spot now. Like look at the right guard position. They're just going to fill it with a dude. That's okay. They've gotten away with it.
Yeah. They're gonna. Yes.
They got away with it. No, I'm not shitting on it. No, they got away with it, right? All right.
Here's Ramir. If they are not trying to win, no one should be. No one. I agree, Ramir. If you're not trying to win, well, why are you going to fire people?
Now, Ramir, winning is
like
funny.
If they did trade AJ.
Yeah, but Ramir, okay, winning. Like, what do you mean? This year, next year, over the next 3 years, setting up winning for a longer period of time, keeping a window open to sacrifice 1 year or maybe 2 years. I'll tell you what, if the Eagles don't do anything in 26 and they didn't do anything in 25 and they come back and they look like in 27, 28, they're a 10 times better team, they clearly cashed in the 26 and 27 season. Did they not? If they don't win this year and it's marginal, Howie's setting up 27 and 28.
Yeah. We'll see, though. Here is John. If they get a 1 from Brown, package that 1 and Tanner to the Jets, draft Bailey to replace Phillips, or package the 1 and someone else if not Tanner. John, I thought you wanted Tanner. I thought John was a Tanner, right?
Bro, I got to tell you, I think he's going. I think AJ's going to New England. I think they're going for the 31st pick and a 3rd rounder, and they're going to send his ass up there with Drake May. And you know what that does? You know, 1 and a 3. And listen, I think
a 1 and a 3. A 1 and a 3, we're doing it, but we're not winning shit in 26.
Okay,
that's the reality. You want the truth?
Hear me out. Hear me out on New England side. Does that not separate you next year from the Bills? Name me one player on that Patriots offense that you call a star.
I know. And it's not Stephon Diggs. I mean, it's not.
It's not.
Hunter Henry's a good tight end. I mean, yeah, they don't have a star guy like that.
Doesn't AJ put you over the Bills next year? That's worth a 1. That's worth my quarterback. That's worth my quarterback. Plus, he's going to go to a place he's always wanted to go. And you're going to get
but dude, what about all these? Dude, you don't think if they're going to trade a 1, you don't think they're going to call every team that's got a better 26 or 27-year-old option for him? I mean, AJ's 29, dude.
Okay. Who would you trade for other than AJ Brown right now that's on a team? Free agency.
I mean, I'd have to look at some wideouts that are, due for a contract soon that might not get there.
You know what helps AJ? That Pickens is going to be tagged.
Yeah, I think
that AJ would be like, because if I'm New England, I'd be like this. Well, I'll take Pickens up there and put that Pickens kid up there with Drake May. But since he's going to be tagged, I'll tell you this too. AJ Brown to Andy Reid. How about AJ and Andy Reid's offense with Mahomes?
I can see that.
Because I know that
that's interesting.
To Mike. How about this? I know they're talking to Mike Evans. Can you imagine if they brought Mike Evans and AJ Brown into Kansas City?
Wow, they'd be a good team. That's old though, man. That's like going Commanders. You love these old. You love going old.
I love
the young man's game, dude.
I
I
love
know, but
production.
it's a young man's game, Sills. Like, you got to thread the needle, man, on projecting players right. I know you say potential is hope, but this game, in a way, is built on potential in some regards. I mean, if you don't have a GM who can identify potential, and you're right, it means you're not proven, but you're not going to win consistently in the league because you need guys with potential who produce to that potential at the right cost in order to build a balanced roster, or else you're going to overpay for too many guys. Right?
Yeah, I agree with that, but hitting on these players and hitting on the unknown, it's a 30%. Don't you like here's why I like veteran guys. I don't have to gamble on who they are. When you're talking about a draft pick,
Yeah, but you got to gamble on if they're going to be
you're
healthy.
gambling on if that guy can transition, if he can handle the money, if he can handle being a pro, if he can handle understanding what an offense is, if he can read a freaking playbook. You got so many variables.
They've been pretty good with that. They've
Yeah,
been
they
pretty
have
good at
been.
projecting.
How good,
Here's
yeah,
a quote from
how
Peter
good a
Schrader.
job do you think? How good a job do you think they've done in like as free agents and evaluating?
Solid, above average, but not excellent.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, he's better at trading, and he didn't even have his best year trading. But like, he's gotten some good players trading. I mean, the Slay trade, he's AJ was a trade. He's done some good things in the trade market, but free agents, I mean, have been pretty hit or miss.
I just got a text message from Lee Steinberg, and I asked Lee Steinberg about the conversations that are going on in Indianapolis. AJ Brown's name's the hottest name in Philly, or excuse me, in Indy.
Oh, it's the hottest name in the NFL, I'm sure, right now. We'll see, man. Here's Brian Fleming.
By the way.
Nice. Sills, the Tamper King got us the info. Yes, they'll restructure. Sills the Tamper King. They'll restructure AJ's contract and trade him, and they should. His trade value will never be higher. Well, maybe that's a fair point. You'll never get more back for him than you will now.
I even got shit for that question I asked Doug Peterson.
Oh, I believe that. That was a bold one.
Frank goes like this. Frank goes, did you say that Aaron Glenn said that that he didn't want Doug on the staff? I said, nope, I did not say that. I asked if you were reached out, and he goes, yeah. He goes, what did you follow up with that? I'm like, so they asked you to come aboard as the coach on the Jets. And he goes, yeah. And he goes, didn't you say, though? Oh, I get it. Aaron Glenn didn't want you. I said, I may have said that. Now, I may have said that. Okay. I may have said that. So.
All right. That's all of them, brother.
Dude, what news tomorrow? Oh, by the way, you hear the Raiders? Real quick. So the Raiders won 2-1s, and they want you to pick up the $35 million.
Yeah, no.
And like, yeah, no. I'm with you, man.
I'm not doing it.
Million.
All right, brother. I got to run, man. I appreciate you.
Hey, tell everybody we said hi, man.
All right, man. We'll do. Thank you, Sills.
You got it, man. That is Big Z. So yesterday, we got a text message we showed you from Alonzo Highsmith that at St. Elmo's there in Indianapolis, that Jimmy Sexton and Tory Dandy, the agent for A.J. Brown, were having conversations at St. Elmo's. Obviously, Diane Rossini came out and said that Jimmy Sexton is taking calls for A.J. Brown and looking at interest for the player. Boy, I'll tell you, this offseason here has been the wildest since I've started talking about this team. I can't wait to get Mark Farzetta on here and get my Paisan Brothers takeaway on this. So let's do that next. We bring in Mark Farzetta. We join him now here. And how about this here? Farzy, how you doing, brother? I appreciate it.
I'm doing great, man. How you doing?
Hey, I'm wondering if you're doing as good as AJ now, because obviously he is without a doubt the most popular guy at St. Elmo's, the restaurant there in Indianapolis, where everyone's having dinner and lunch. And Diane Rossini came out today and said that Jimmy Sexton is gaining interest, and she did it publicly. I'll ask you this question. Do you think the Eagles gave Jimmy Sexton and Tory Dandy, A.J. Brown's agent, permission to see if there's interest in him with multiple teams? Because isn't that kind of tampering? And for a guy or for a person like Diana, who's an insider, that's kind of like that's you're kind of on the line there a little bit. If that's the case, you're reporting that. How do you take that?
I think if there is blood in the water, any other GM is going to go, is AJ Brown available? So what's it going to take? I know they're saying they're not going to take anybody, but what about this? What's reality there? Because talking to the agent at St. Elmo's, I don't think is necessarily against the NFL rules. If you're talking to the player, if you're talking to the pretty much that's it, then that would be tampering. Mike Vrabel admitting to tampering is a bigger issue to me than guys just having conversations with agents about who may or may not be available. I mean, that's why they go to the combine. I think a lot of fans would be surprised that the smallest thing going on at the combine are guys running around. Hey, I wonder if this athlete's athletic. Oh, he is. Glad I went to Indiana. No, that's not the thing. It's going to it's going to the bars. It's going to the restaurants. It's having those conversations. I've talked to NFL players that were veteran NFL players that years after they were at the combine or years after they were drafted, like, I love the combine. I got my 5-year deal done at the combine, basically. So it's not so much the guys on the field running around, the would-be or wannabe NFLers. It's the guys that are already NFLers that are doing the wheeling and dealing, whether it's them or their agent.
Okay. What's your number on A.J. Brown's in an Eagle uniform in September?
It is pretty much since the last week after the 49ers game, it has stayed pretty much on the side that A.J. Brown is in Philadelphia. He plays for the Philadelphia Eagles again next year. I am still more on that side than not. But listening to Nick Sirianni talk to Rich Eisen after he had already talked about, hey, you can't guarantee anybody's back next year and played that card, then he started going down the avenue of, hey, is A.J. Brown going to be back with you next year? Let me tell you something. I love A.J. Brown. I love A.J. Brown. I love A.J. Brown, the person. I love A.J. Brown, the player. I love A.J. Brown, the guy in the locker room. It started to sound like the beginning of breaking up with somebody. Let me tell you all the things that are great about you before I tell you why this doesn't work anymore. Like that kind of thing. So I have taken a hit in the last 2 days. I've gone from like 70% sure that he's back to about 60% sure that he's back. So to give you your answer, I'm 60-40, 60% he comes back to Philadelphia.
See, this is how I read that thing with Nick Sirianni. Man, I really love my wife. And I got to tell you, I really love her so much. But, sweetie, I'm not sure I'll be home tonight. And, I'm going to take a bag with me. And I'm not sure,
Right.
By the way, if you want to go out and you want to see other, go. It's all
wow.
No. I'm just saying, if you love somebody enough, you go, hey, I love you. I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. Why can't this just be said? A.J. Brown's not going anywhere. This is not happening. We're not moving off the guy. And why can't A.J. come out, Farzy, and say, I have no intention of going anywhere else and playing, and nor do I want to play the stupid troll game on social media by posting pictures of me at Gillette. I don't want to do any of that stuff. Why can't, or is that, am I asking for something that's too simple?
Yes. Okay. Because he wants to be you followed A.J. Brown. You know the deal. Well, what is ever simple?
Tremendous troll.
Yeah, exactly. The fact that Jeffrey Lurie had a conversation with him and was just like, hey, stay off social media. And he stayed off social media for the most part. There wasn't another cryptic tweet after that conversation. So the guy really wants to go out there. I guess the guy can listen. Now, on the other side of it, maybe there was some kind of deal like AJ. Just stay off social media. Don't be the distraction on social media. And then we'll work out something in the offseason. Maybe that was the deal. But I don't think this can be simple because you have a guy at A.J. Brown who I think does love being a troll. How do I know that? What's my source? A.J. Brown is the source in all of this. He literally, you saw it. He winked at Julian Edelman and Rob Gronkowski when they're like, hey, we're all Patriots, right? And he gave that wink after talking about how he's still a Patriots fan, after Saquon Barkley confirmed that he's still a Patriots fan, which, by the way, that doesn't bother me. Like, it doesn't make me mad. I just think it's really weird that he would be in the NFL and a fan of another team. That's just, I don't know. It gives me, what do the kids say? The ick vibe.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it gives me. All right. But I think he enjoys the show. I think he enjoys people talking about him until they talk about him. So to answer your question, yes, it's too simple. If he just comes out and says, hey, look, I love Philadelphia. I love Jalen. I'm intrigued by Sean Mannion. Nick Sirianni's my guy. Then what would we be talking about? You know what I mean? We don't want to talk about that. That's the drama that people want to follow. That's the troll that A.J. Brown does, in fact, enjoy being. So that's where I kind of find it now with A.J. Brown. He enjoys the show that he puts on and off the field.
Okay, well, I got another one here for you then.
Oh, boy.
I'll move off of A.J. here, and I'll go like this. So you decide to hire an offensive line coach that was not renewed in Minnesota because they failed as one of the top O-lines going into the year, and it regressed. And you push out Jeff Stoutland? I want you to explain pushing out a guy who put you in 3 Super Bowls, 2 wins, has developed Hall of Fame players, and just about a year and a month ago had the greatest and most iconic running attack in pro football postseason history. And it's morphed into him leaving? How'd you get there?
Well, if I'm trying to sell to A.J. Brown, which, by the way, I'm not, but if you're the Eagles, you're doing something completely different in this offense. You want a different run scheme, a scheme that Jeff Stoutland's never done before, whether it have been Chip Kelly, whether it had been Doug Peterson or Nick Sirianni. Jeff Stoutland hasn't done it. That's why they pivoted last year. I'm not justifying it. I'm just saying what they did. I'm just reporting the news here. But they're looking at it as they want to do something completely different in this offense. And if they're the Eagles and they're looking to keep A.J. Brown, and you might be bringing in somebody, then the excuse that they're going to give a guy like Cooper, for instance, their new offensive line coach, is, hey, this guy had 27 different offensive lines last year that he had to work with. That's one of the reasons they were so banged up. But more of the story, don't look over there, over here, is that Cam Jurgens going to be back, hopefully healthier. Landon Dickerson is not retiring. Lane Johnson's coming back to give it another go. And we have Sean Mannion running a completely different scheme that's going to get you open in space, and get you to rack up, the yards after the catch. But one of the casualties of that had to be from shifting away from the previous blocking scheme to this blocking scheme. That's why we had to move on from Jeff Stoutland. I will say this. I know the money is going to be the biggest thing for people, $43 million dead cap money when you talk about A.J. Brown, $27 million next year if you move on from him pre-June 1st and all that stuff. The biggest tall tale sign that we're going to know that A.J. Brown is gone is when he really gets into, if he does get to the point where he gets into this offense and he sees what Sean Mannion wants to do. He talks to Saquon Barkley, talks to Jalen Hurts, whoever, and he looks at the offense and goes, oh, Jalen will have success with this, therefore I will have success with this. I'm staying. Or he looks at it and says, this ain't Jalen's bag, man. He's not going to be able to do this. I don't want to be here for it. Get rid of me. And then you see him return to social media on things that might be a little bit more trolling, even more so than we saw last year. So I think when the moment comes, because even Saquon Barkley, as of last week, said that he hasn't even seen what the offense is going to be yet. Nick Sirianni, Jeff Lurie, and Howie Roseman have tried to sell him on what the offense is going to be, and he's intrigued by it. He's talking about the offense getting the swag back. If A.J. Brown looks at it the same way or has the same reaction as Saquon Barkley did, then I think A.J. is definitely here, and that's going to be signed, sealed, delivered for at least the upcoming season. But if he looks at it and says, yeah, this is cool, but Jalen can't run it, get me out of here, the minute he gets his hands on the offense and sees what it could do, that's when he's going to make his judgment about what he could do, what Jalen could do, and that's when we'll know really if he's going to be here or not.
Boy, I'll tell you, man, you want somebody to sell a house. There's your guy right there, boy. I'm ready to rock. I mean, that's a sell right there. Yeah, because I'm trying to figure, if I'm A.J. Brown, did you just sell me on a guy who's been a coach for 24 months? He's never been a play caller. And how much are you really going to change the offense? That means you're getting away from Barkley? That means you're running the offense through me. I mean, because the last 2 years, let's face it, ever since Barkley's joined the team, his numbers have gone the other way. As a matter of fact, so has Jalen Hurts' numbers gone the other way. So is it more of a priority to get the run game going, or is it more of a priority to get A.J. Brown going? So, I mean, what is that there, especially, and people that you're selling me that have never really done anything. Cooper's inexperienced in a way, not so much as Mannion. Josh Gazar just got fired in Tampa for the offensive coordinator. Who else you got? Parks Frazier is now the new – I thought he was the pass game coordinator last year. So now all of a sudden we're going to have the guy who was the pass game coordinator who's now the quarterback coach? Okay. Listen, the reason I'm being pessimistic on it is you got to sell me on making me feel like I think they're going to go in a different direction, Farzy. And if I'm saying if I'm AJ, you got to make me feel like why I think this is going to make me happy, because for whatever reason, the last 2 years, with all the winning, that's not been enough.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and the numbers. It's not like A.J. Brown hasn't continued to put up 1,000-yard seasons. So the numbers have still been there. Now, obviously, this year was a huge downtick, but it was for everybody. But let me just say this. You say pessimistic. Some other people say negative, okay? Forget about it. How about being real? I don't think you're being pessimistic. I don't think you're being negative. I think you're being real. Let's look at this for a second, okay? So Josh Grizzard has called plays in the NFL, all right? Parks Frazier, albeit for the Jeff Saturday-led Indianapolis Colts, Parks Frazier
That's right, the interim. Plays. He was interim.
He's called plays in the NFL. But, okay, your offensive coordinator, not only has he not called plays at the NFL level, he's been kind of a coach for 2 years. So, if you're A.J. Brown, you got to be looking at this going, all right, are you really going to sell me on what you're going to do here? Because it is important to note the meeting that took place between Howie Roseman, Nick Sirianni, and a select field of reporters a week before the Combine in South Philly, Friday. Which is is that weird? That's weird, right? They've never done that before, where they had like a select press conference and said, sit on it.
But that's right there, that last thing. How wild is that day? What you did with the Philadelphia media.
It's insane.
Wait, the Philadelphia media, they told reporters, we're going to tell you something. We don't want you to report on it. I want you to hold it for a couple days. In your years working in Philly.
Never.
I've never heard of such a thing.
I've heard of individual reporters getting a scoop, getting a story from the team, but not a pool. They brought them into the draft room. The whole thing was weird, and they said, all right, here's what we want to do. We want you guys to sit on this story for a few days, okay? And then we'll release it the day of the Combine. First question, if I'm a media member agreeing to this, if I would, hold on, aren't you talking that day anyway? Oh, yeah, the both of us are talking that day. Then what are we doing? How is it my advantage to you're literally going to be talking to everybody the same day I put this story out? Like, I got done my show in the morning, and I was talking about, hey, Combine week, we're going to hear from Howie Roseman, we're going to hear from Nick Sirianni. Here's what I think they're going to say. Here's things I want to know about, blah, blah. And I get done, I look at my phone, and it's like Howie Roseman quote. I'm like, are they talking at 7 o'clock in the morning in Indianapolis? And then I find out it's a story that reporters sat on because that was the deal, apparently. Sit on it for a week, or sit on it for the 3 days, 4 days, whatever it was. That was just odd to me. But to go back to it, Howie Roseman and Nick Sirianni, what came out in that meeting about Sean Mannion's really going to be running and focusing more so on the run game. Well, I guess Nick Sirianni is going to be focused more on helping the pass game out. So if you're A.J. Brown, are you trusting more in Nick Sirianni than you would be Sean Mannion? I don't know. But Sean Mannion is in a situation where he's going to be calling the plays. Is he going to be calling your number? Is he going to be calling Saquon's number? Devontae Smith, whoever the hell your tight end is next year? There's just still so many questions. And one of the biggest questions is if you want to tell me that everyone mentioned to you about Sean Mannion, how brilliant, Sean Mannion, he's so brilliant. Everyone the Eagles talked to told you how brilliant Sean Mannion. He might be a whiz kid. I don't know. But if this many people are telling you how brilliant he is, why didn't he get another interview? Why was nobody else knocking on his door? Did you really want to get ahead of everybody else before he became, I don't know, something special next year? I don't. The whole thing, talk about being optimistic or pessimistic or negative, whatever. I'm all about being real all the time, and this just, it doesn't pass the smell test to me.
I value your opinion. I want you to know that of the people that I've met in Philly. I do. I value your opinion, and I think you're one of the best that they have in that city.
Thank you, brother.
So I mean that too. I mean, and I don't say that a lot to anybody because I don't really think there's a lot of good talent in the country any longer. I think you're one of them. But help me out on this. So your city holds a story on Nick Castellanos drinking beers in the locker room and in the bench. And now they're holding stories on like what the Eagles want you to know, and then they're going to tell you to sit on 4 or 5 days. I mean, Farzy, do your job. Your job is to be there and do your job, isn't it? It's not to sit there and kiss the ass of these organizations. What's happened in Philly here with the local media here that they're now down this lane with these organizations? Does it really come down to accessibility and that these organizations feel more empowered now because they can control the narrative? Bob Lang's controlling the narrative. The Phillies controlled that. Now all of a sudden, people wanted to go ape shit all over Nick Castellanos because he drank a beer in the locker room and in the dugout. Now they're piling on after the fact. Why didn't you cover it at the point? What happened?
So the Castellanos thing is interesting to me because nobody went with it, like locally, nationally, like something like that. When I first heard, not that I lost my mind. Like I've been in clubhouses where guys are, they have a beer poured in like a Pepsi cup or something while I'm talking to them, interviewing them, and they're sipping from it. Like, okay, fine. Like I didn't like clutch my pearls over that. Okay. But what I did find interesting is that is worth reporting. And nobody in the Philadelphia media had it. Nobody on the national stage had it either. Like a Bob Nightingale, a Ken Rosenthal, Buster Olney. Like nobody had that story. That was really Tim Kirchin. Yeah. Like that to me was like, oh, wow, that happened. And it was to the point where we may have heard him yelling on TV at the cavernous Miami Marlins park, whatever. Like that to me is like, okay, I guess nobody had it. But here's what I will say about a group of reporters meeting and having this, I don't even know what to call it, special press conference or special meeting with
Fireside chat.
Fireside chat. Oh my God. Yeah. I wonder if kind of what we do now, you and I, other podcasts, other web shows. I mean, there's so many media outlets out there now where we don't need to go there. We have access to press conferences. We can watch them, throughout the week. That's certainly what I do to keep up on everything.
Yeah.
Some of us get the transcripts emailed to us and all that. But I wonder if this was kind of a deal where it's like, hey, look, we're not going to put this out there. It's not going to be on camera, but we're going to give you guys the first run of what we plan to talk about before our, by the way, media circuit at the Combine. So I wonder if that was part of the deal. We're like, okay, fine, we'll sit on it until the day of, but we get to release it before you guys speak. Okay, fine. So we're still beating what everybody else is getting. All right. But then the other part of it is also this. They have this, I've been calling it the week ago meeting. They have this meeting a week ago. Then they both do press conferences at the Combine. Then Sirianni and Howie both do Florio, Eisen. I think they did CBS.
Yeah.
And then maybe Barstool. Like, I was like, is this Super Bowl media night? Like, is this opening night of the Super Bowl? Like, they're really trying to get some kind of message out there. And the message is two things. It's one, that Sean Manning's brilliant. And the other is they love A.J. Brown. And if there's a third, it's Jalen Hurts can do anything.
Yeah.
Do not fear what this new offense is going to be.
Oh, here's the other one, too. Nick makes all the decisions on the hiring of the coaching staff.
I will say that if they're full of crap on that, I find it very interesting how much they have pushed Sirianni out in front. Now that could be. Now we'll go optimistic here.
Xander thinks that they've done this. They're pushing him over here, and they're getting distance in case there's a train wreck this year.
Yeah.
And guess what? That Howie doesn't get wet. This guy goes under.
Yeah. I think that's one theory is they push him out in front. They're like, oh, no, look, he's the guy making the decisions. He's the guy that hired Sean Mannion. He's the guy that said Parks Frazier would be great. He's the guy that wanted Cooper in here. Like, they're pushing him out that way. Or the other aspect is has Nick Sirianni finally won that battle that Doug Peterson couldn't?
I had Doug on 2 days ago. And
okay. Yeah.
I had him on, and he was like, I asked him about the firing of Stoutland. He's like, makes no sense. I'm paraphrasing it. He goes, it makes no sense. And I asked him if he really had those meetings on like Tuesdays, like when he won a game, a playoff game. Yeah. At those meetings. And he goes like this, all I cared about was winning ball games.
Right.
And,
well, why'd you pass? Why'd you only pass 55% of the time? We won the game by 20. Yeah, but why'd you pass so much? Anyway, or run. Why'd you run so much? That was a problem. I remember those stories, man. I felt bad for him then. I feel bad for him now that he had to, go through that. But as far as Sirianni goes, I think he is out in front with some power that the Eagles have never really surrendered before. And if you want to ask another question here that I don't think too many people have talked about yet, and it really comes down to the experience factor. You have Kevin Patullo here, who had never called plays before, right? But he had more experience as a coach. So he has that over Sean Mannion. So they literally looked at Kevin Patullo last year and said, this is the second consecutive time that we've hired from within with someone that had never called plays at the NFL level, and the season went ass up. So on the note of experience, how about instead of going more experience, how about less experience, huh? Does that sound like a great idea? Doesn't sound like a great idea to me. That does not at all sound like a great idea to me. Hey, look, yeah, it all depends on whether or not Sean Mannion is a whiz kid. But the other thing that is scary about it too is that if they're so concerned or they were so set on getting Brian Dable or getting Mike McDaniels or whoever, those are two guys that could have been head coaches again, but they took offensive coordinator roles. Yep. All right. You went from that to a guy that's, again, kind of been a coach in the league for 2 years. Like, that doesn't, and again, has never called plays. But hey, he did a great job with Malik Willis, so that makes him fit for the job here in Philly, I guess.
I got two questions left here for you here, and I want to get your takeaway on this. So you got to be careful not to like piss off my friend, but I'm going to say it.
Okay.
Frank Reich reached out to Doug Peterson, and they were kind of getting an interest in him joining the Jet staff. And I asked
Peterson joining the Jet staff.
Yeah, and helping Frank with the
okay.
offense. And he said, we talked about it a little bit. And then, after the interview, because I said something to him, I go, well, do you think Frank didn't take the OC job here because Nick told him they were moving off of Stoutland? And he went, well, you're going to have to ask your buddy. I think they wanted to offer Frank the job. And when Nick said that they were moving in a different direction in the run game and they moved off him, this is before Mannion got hired. I think they were bringing, and Nick and Frank said, Frank doesn't even have a quarterback right now in New York. How do you take an offensive coordinating job when you don't even know who the quarterback is? Think about that. This is the first time I'm telling everybody here, but I think he didn't take that job because Nick told him they were moving off of Stoutland.
Wow.
And that's where you land on this inexperienced crew. Do you know that? Look at this. Every single coach they hired has 1 or 2 years experience in that offensive staff. The only two coaches that have any kind of experience with Nick are the receiver and running back coach, right? The rest of them are all 1-year guys.
Yeah. Yeah. Parks Frazier was under Reich in Indianapolis. That's the only other connection I saw there.
That's one of Frank's guys.
Yeah. That's the only other connection there. But I would love for Frank Reich's first reaction to that been, before they even started talking about being a consultant or an offensive coordinator, I would have liked Frank Reich's first question to be, what the hell were you thinking not including Jeff Stoutland in the run game when it was just you and Kevin Patullo in the room trying to figure it out? You had Jeff Stoutland's sitting right over there, and you wanted to exclude him, apparently? That's dumb. And now you want to move on from him? That's dumber. Why would you do that? If I was Frank Wright, those are the questions I would have. It would be, first, how do you push Jeff Stoutland out of the room and say thanks but no thanks, even though you've been through 3 head coaches, you're coming off a historic rushing season, and you've cranked out Pro Bowlers left and right. And to your point, Hall of Famers. And now you're saying you don't want him at all, and you're just letting him leave? That also doesn't make any sense.
With a no compete.
Yeah, with a no. Jeez.
That's me and you language.
Like, I don't want to. Right, exactly. That's
because, because Frank was going to hire him as the offensive line coach up in New York.
Oh, that's great. Oh, great. Yeah.
Don't be shocked if he lands in New York. If Frank does a good job, whoever the quarterback is up there, that Jeff Stoutland becomes the offensive line coach up there.
He's from New York, isn't he?
Yeah.
Stoutland?
He's from Long Island.
Yeah, I've heard that in his voice. I've definitely heard Long Island in that voice.
He didn't take the OC job because that Stoutland was not going to be there. They talked. I knew they talked because Frank told me, and I got in trouble. I sent the text to Xander, and they told me they were going to talk. So I was wondering why he passed, and I realized it. And then I asked Doug, and Doug goes, "You need to ask your friend that." So he didn't take that job, and they landed on Sean Mannion because, like you said, look at how it makes sense. These guys are leftovers. Nobody's hiring that guy McCaffrey, whatever the guy's name is, the new run guy.
Yeah,
nobody's hiring any of these dudes. Mm-hmm. These guys weren't sought after offensive coaches, were they?
No. Grizzard had a couple interviews.
Maybe, Josh Grizzard. I know there were some guys that were looking at him to come in as a wide receiver coach or something like that, or a potential passing game guy. I think Washington was looking at him maybe to go up there and do that. But the rest of those guys were just dudes that were leftover guys. I mean, there's not a guy in the room there. I mean, I don't get the staff. If you're 50-18, Farzy, you're 50-18 in 4 years. What are you changing? Why are you going here?
Yeah.
Why are you gambling? How about this? You think Nick's gambling with the rest of his career here in Philly?
Oh, I think he absolutely is. And, I mean, that goes more to the point of the Eagles kind of saying, this is the guy you want? All right. Here you go. I mean, it's not – obviously it wasn't mine or anybody's first pick. I mean, hell, wasn't anybody's first pick for really anything.
Anybody.
Like, if the Eagles didn't hire Sean Mannion, what would he be doing? What would he be doing? He'd be coaching the quarterbacks of the Green Bay Packers. All right, I don't think he's getting a huge promotion, and all of a sudden he's going to be running the Eagles offense, at least with a focus on the running game part. Here's the reason he's hired. He was a quarterback in the league for 9 years. He is familiar with the Kyle Shanahan and Sean McVay offense. He has worked with Clint Kubiak. This is all stuff he's done as a player. So it's more of the association.
Yeah.
Whenever I hear, he's associated with other brilliant coaches or whatever, yeah, but that doesn't make him brilliant. Like, I'll never forget, and I hate to do this to Sean Mannion before he even calls one play, but I
read Einstein's book. That don't mean I'm Einstein. Right?
I was just going to compare you to Albert Einstein. The similarities. There's a Albert Einstein in the trenches, man. Quick first step, just like my man Sills. Very agile. You know what I mean? That hair wasn't all over the place because he was standing still. You know what I mean? He was great lateral movement. But anyway, when it comes to guys like this, I remember when the Eagles were looking for a defensive coordinator with Chip Kelly, and they hired Billy Davis. And like everybody else, I looked right at Billy Davis's defenses, whether it was San Francisco, whether it was Arizona, and it was like the bottom 10, bottom 13, bottom 5, everything. I was like, well, this is the guy? This is supposed to be a revolutionary time in Eagles history, and this is the guy they're choosing to run a defense in the defensive loving city of Philadelphia? So I even asked Chip. I was like, Chip, why? Basically, the resume doesn't support the hire. Essentially, why is Billy Davis the guy for the job, basically? To paraphrase what I said. He's like, well, meet him. You got to meet him. You got to talk to him. You got to see what he's like, okay. So it was the day they presented everybody there. I remember Press Taylor was there. He was a quality control coach. I talked to Press Taylor as well. I sat across from Billy Davis, and he rattled off the names that he had worked for in his career. And I remember thinking at the time, if I was casting a movie for a guy to be a defensive coordinator, man, I would hire Billy Davis for that role. He is just a perfect guy in that role. But still, through everything he said, I didn't believe that away from any movie scene, I didn't believe that he would be able to put together a defense that would be anything worth note. Sure enough, I mean, he took over the defense not that long after Juan Castillo ran the defense, and Juan Castillo had better numbers. All right, think about that.
That's crazy.
So it doesn't matter who he's worked with, and Billy Davis worked with a number of great defensive minds. It didn't rub off. It rubbed off to the point where maybe he could be a linebackers coach, and I think he actually is right now in Arizona. But that's about it. So just because you've been around or coached under great people doesn't mean that all of a sudden you're going to have a piece of that pie. Now, I hope that's different for Sean Mannion. I want the Eagles to go undefeated and have a great year and all that. And I want Eagles fans to be able to celebrate on Broad Street again. But just, talent by association ain't a thing. And I'm hoping it's a thing, though, for Sean Mannion.
I got a last one here for you. Want to do this? It'll take just a couple seconds here, okay? All right.
Okay.
In the next 3 years, you think that Jordan Mailata will be on this football team?
Down year after a historically good year. 3 year. I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say Jordan Mailata is still here in 3 years.
Yes.
Okay. I think the reason. Okay. Is this a lightning round? I won't go.
Yes.
Yes. He's back.
I love that.
Okay.
I love that.
Yeah, he's back. He's back.
Landon Dickerson in 3 years.
No.
13 knees. No. Okay. 13
No.
knee surgeries.
Have you seen his do-it-yourself TikTok account? I'm learning all sorts of things. Sills. I'm learning how to cut straight with a circular saw. I've never been able to do that before. Thanks, Landon Dickerson. I'm learning how to patch drywall better. I haven't been really good at that. Thanks, Landon Dickerson. All right, just kidding. I've been great.
You'll be a great hit at Home Depot. Okay.
I've been great. For the record, I don't want to insult my ancestors. I'm great at patching drywall. Thank you very much. I don't need Landon Dickerson for that.
Oh my God, that's great. Okay, so no Landon. Let's go to the Brazilian butt tuck guy. Cam Jurgens. Do you believe he's going to be on this football team in 3 years? I mean, you're doing something in Brazil. You're either
he was in. I thought he was in Colombia.
Oh,
I don't know. Maybe
Colombia. A Colombian butt tuck. That's it.
Does that mean he's bringing things illegally in the United States?
I don't know. He's doing.
I don't know.
The Pablo Escobar dance. I don't know.
He's selling his beef jerky. That's what he's doing.
Okay, that's
Cam
Jurgens.
Cam Jurgens, I'm going to say is the Eagles center in 3 years.
So you think he has a rebound?
Yeah, I mean, seamlessly going from guard to center and seamlessly going from Jason Kelce to Cam Jurgens. You put up that historical run season. You win a Super Bowl. Look, he had a terrible year this year, but he was still a Pro Bowler. And if you go around looking at Pro Bowl snubs and all that stuff, it's like, who would have replaced him? Nobody had an answer. Right? Nobody said, oh, this guy needs to be a Pro Bowl over him. There was no Pro Bowl snub at the center position, which, hey, look, I'm not saying he had a great year, but in comparison, apparently he did.
Do you believe that Tyler Steen will be the starting right guard?
No.
Okay, no, I agree.
No.
Look,
I really tried to be fair and objective when you think about the level of play that Mekhi Becton was at. And then as maybe 3 or 4 games into the season, you're like, no, it's not that the guy before him was so good. It's that he's just not that good. So, no, I don't think Tyler Steen is him.
And we agree this is Lane's last year.
Definitely. This is Lane Johnson's last year playing for the Philadelphia Eagles. And I'll say this on that note. I wouldn't mind it, by the way, especially because the Eagles don't really have a tight end right now. I wouldn't mind a Zach Ertz reunion. Him and Lane Johnson go out together after 14 years after being drafted with the Eagles' first and second picks in the 2013 draft. They both go out riding into the sunset.
Man, that sounds cool. I like that. Okay, so in the next 2 years or 3 years here, you're going to have to replace 3 of the 5 offensive linemen. Are the Eagles in a rebuild? Are we looking at how about this? On-the-fly rebuild, kind of like 21. Because, I mean, the biggest and best part, you fire or whatever you want to call it, you push Stoutland out. You've got replacements that you're going to have to address. Isn't this the benchmark of the Philadelphia Eagles? Farzy has been the O-line. Hasn't that been the identity of the football team? Now you're talking about in the next 2 to 3 years replacing 3 of the 5 guys. I mean, how are you not thinking that that's not a rebuild?
I think it's because you talk about the word seamless. Offensive line transitions have been pretty seamless for the Eagles.
Because of who?
Because of Jeff Stoutland. Absolutely. I'm going to have to look more towards the other positions. A.J. Brown not being back. If Jalen Hurts ends up not being back after this year, if this is a really bad year, if Nick Sirianni is really at the helm of coaching hires and this thing goes ass up, then you're talking about a true rebuild with the new coaching staff and all that. Because here's the other part of the Sean Mannion aspect, if I may, if we have time.
Sure, please.
If this all goes well and Sean Mannion is brilliant, and you brought in like Mahaffey, for instance, you brought in Grizzard, you brought in Parks Frazier. If all this is great with Sean Mannion, he's probably gone next year because of the vicious cycle you have at offensive coordinator. If he's terrible, then not only are you talking about a terrible season again for the Eagles, or a quick early, one and done playoff exit maybe, but then you're talking about a regime change without Vic Fangio being here either. So you're kind of in a situation.
It's kind of an all or nothing year, isn't it?
Yeah, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. And that's the problem when you don't have Nick Sirianni as the offensive master, when you don't have, the head coach as the defensive or offensive mastermind. You're just in the vicious cycle of this guy's Mr. Right now, not Mr. Right. He's gone. And you're going to have that no matter what next year when it comes to Vic Fangio, who, just like Landon Dickerson, just like Lane Johnson, apparently, thinking about, I think I've had enough. Except Vic Fangio is a little older than those other 2 guys, and he's thinking to himself, "Yeah, maybe this is time where I can just call it a career."
I want to stick. May I sneak one last one in for you here?
Go ahead, try to get it by me. Go.
Okay. Adam Kaplan was on our program, and I asked him. This was about 2 weeks ago, and he said to me, and then I had him on my Sports Grid show on the weekends, and he came on and he said that Nick Sirianni insulted him when he was sticking his head in and starting to take more control of the run game. And when things started going more so where they started putting Hurts more under center and he started taking more control of the run game. Now, again, it's Nick's team. He's the head football coach, Farzy. So he gets, it's his ball. It's his bat and ball. And he's a position coach. But according to Adam Kaplan, the reason that he got up and walked out of that meeting when he was told that, listen, you're not going to be head of the run game. We're going to bring a new run game coordinator in. We want you to coach the O-line. Stoutland was insulted. Got up. If you look at that exit and you look at that tweet he put out, he put out, not that Eagle Love Fest thing that Bob Lang put out. That thing that Stoutland put out was, hey, I love Philadelphia. I love the fans. Stout out. I mean, there ain't no loving anybody in there. What do you make of that he felt insulted by the head coach?
Good for him. Anybody in any walk of life, if you feel insulted or disrespected after loyal service and people just tell you no or push you aside, I heavily promote the double barrel exit. You know what I mean?
You're going out with a flamethrower, right?
Excuse me. What did I just do? I helped you do all this, and you're going to treat me like that? Okay, they're tons of fun. I'm out of here. All right. So I give him every ounce of credit. And when I saw the message posted independently by him and not in cahoots with the Eagles for a joint announcement, not that much longer after the McClain piece came out, after the Tim McManus piece came out about, hey, pushing Jeff Stoutland aside as we figure out how we're going to fix the run game, I give all the credit in the world. Jeff Stoutland has had a phenomenal career. He's a Hall of Fame assistant coach. All right. He has certainly made not only his bones in the NFL already, but he has made his money getting top dollar, like coordinator money to hold down the fort.
Highest paid O-line coach.
Hey, Jeff, go down the shore, okay? Make your linguine and clams, all right? Just don't put cheese on it. Don't let me see that. But that's what you do. But you do you. You're Jeff Stoutland. And then you ride off in the sunset, or you do whatever job you want to. If people aren't going to respect you in the workplace that you worked your ass off and had success in, I fully promote the double barrel salute as you go out the door. And that's exactly was my interpretation how Jeff Stoutland handled that situation. So
by the way,
I gave him all the power in the world.
Doug said this. He always was willing to compromise, and he was always willing to add anything that the coach wanted to add. He said under him, anytime that, he'd listen to suggestions, he was always open for it, and he was always open to being that guy. Doug Peterson said that 2 days ago, that he was open for that. So that thing where, he wouldn't change is a bullshit lie. And on top of that, get this, on the way out the door, Farzy, he didn't even go back and clean his desk out, his office out. He just walked out of the building. That's how pissed off he was. He walked out of the building, didn't clean they shipped his shit to him because he wouldn't go back in there and clean his desk out. I'm telling you.
Good for him.
That exit, Sirianni's going to be wrong, or Stoutland will be right, or Stoutland will be wrong, and Sirianni will be right. You chose Nick. Will we not agree? Do you think Jeff Stoutland and Vic Fangio are the most important coaches that the Eagles have had since Jim Johnson as assistant coaches?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, these guys don't become deities in other cities. Maybe Jim Johnson because he was a coordinator, but
yeah,
an offensive line coach, basically people referring to as the dean of Stoutland University. I really think about where it started. I don't know who it was started with. Maybe Jason Kelsey's, return to prominence as a center, and then the Hall of Fame run he went on. Jason Kelsey obviously acknowledging him in his retirement speech. I don't know where it came from, but people just saw that no matter who was in there, they were just ready to roll, man. Ready to roll. That's, I guess, where it really became as prolific as it did. But yeah, I find it wild that they handled the situation the way they did. And look, this could work out for both teams or both parties, where the Eagles, they run this new offense, something that Stoutland hadn't done before, and they have success. But I just hope Jeff Stoutland goes to the Jets then in your scenario and starts cranking out Pro Bowlers again and later Hall of Famers, because he certainly has that well within his ability to do it. It's not like he's lost a step as a offensive line coach. So look, I'm rooting for Jeff Stoutland. I don't think anybody in Philadelphia isn't rooting for Jeff Stoutland, and he earned any way he wanted to go out. But the minute I saw him announce it on his own account, not in joint release with the Eagles, that's the one I went, oh, this is spicy. There's something going on here. And sure enough, there was something going on there.
They burned a bridge with him. He'll never come back. He'll never come back to this place. Do you agree? He'll
as a
he'll
coach, I don't think he'll coach. Yeah, I don't think he'll come back to Philadelphia. Maybe after Sirianni. But I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think there's that many. I think he's going to sign a long-term. I think he's going to be maybe with the Jets or another organization for a long time. But I think he would come back when they honor him or coaches or the Super Bowl teams, plural, that he coached on. Maybe when they retire Jason Kelsey's number, he'll be there. But as far as a coach, no, I don't see that happening again.
Okay, I'm going to leave you with this, and this is going to be the head football coach in 2027. Are you ready?
Oh, boy. All right, let's go. Dan Sileo. Oh, Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin, head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles? So more vicious cycle? What do you know, Sills? What aren't you telling me? The way you have it written, it looks like President Mike Tomlin.
Mike Tomlin, 2020.
What do you know? What do you know? What do you know, sir? Oh, great. So that means this year sucks. Thanks for that.
But listen, all I'm telling you is that couple coaches on that staff.
Oh boy.
Carl Dunbar, who was his D-line coach, and Alfredo Roberts, who was his tight end coach. They were teammates of mine. And he's taking a year off. And after he watched Harbaugh get $20 million, what would you pay for Mike Tomlin to be your head football coach? To take over again, because you're going to be missing who after next year? What coordinator is leaving next year in Philly?
That'd be Vic Fangio.
So I might want to hire a guy like Mike McDaniel, excuse me, up in Seattle to coach my Eagle team. Who would that be, I wonder? I know he's taking a year off. Wants to see his daughter to play. I think she was playing basketball. So, and I happen to know the guy.
That's it. But then I'm jumping into another vicious cycle of coordinators leaving left and right if that happens.
Mike Tomlin has never had a losing season in pro football in his coaching career.
It's very true.
You think that guy would fit into Philly?
I think Philly would love Mike Tomlin. I don't know if Philly's going to go for okay, wait a minute. So we're just going to do the same thing where the guy comes here, has success, and then, Howie gets all these great players. The guy looks great, and then he moves on somewhere else.
But the Eagles love doing that.
Yeah, I hate it. I hate that. All the respect in the world for Mike Tomlin. I don't know if that's exactly what I want to jump right back into. Unless he hires coaches older than him to be coordinators.
That's right. Well, Mike's still a young guy.
Okay. Yeah, how old is he now? I don't even know.
He's like 60, something like that. I think how old is he right now? He's like 60 or something like that, right? 61?
Damn, he looks great. 53. Holy pots and pans.
Mike Tomlin's 53 years old.
He's 53 years old. He's a pup.
Dude, there's your head coach in Philadelphia next year.
All right.
At $20 million bucks.
While we're talking about Steelers,
if John Harbaugh gets that deal at 20, Tomlin's a better coach.
More of a track record. Yep. I will tell you this. You want to be weirded out by age. So the Steelers always hire the young guy and let him grow up until recently.
Yeah.
What the hell? What the new coach of the Steelers?
Mike McCarthy.
Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy is 5 years younger than Bill Cowher is now.
That's
like
crazy.
He's 5 years younger than Bill Cowher.
He looks like a beer-drinking dude that's like 65, 66.
He looks like a guy from Pittsburgh. That's what he looks like because he is. Like if he wasn't the head coach of the Steelers, people would be like, he should be the head coach of the Steelers, that guy, because he just looks like Pittsburgh.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
It would be a real reach for them to hire, because if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, they've never hired under the Jeffrey Lurie reign a coach that had been a previous head coach to be the head football coach. They've never hired one, right?
Yeah.
Obviously,
Chip Kelly was college.
Was not one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Ray Rhodes.
Chip was a coach in college in Oregon, but he's never hired a guy, right? I mean,
Ray Rhodes was never a head coach before. He was a defensive coordinator before he was in Philly.
He hired him? I thought he was already here, I thought Norman hired him.
No. Kotite was still the head coach when Lurie took over.
Oh, really?
Kotite was like, I forget what Kotite was something like 7-2 and talking about a contract extension. Well, this new ownership needs to, think about 7-2. I need a contract extension. And then I think they went 0 for their next 7. And Kotite was out, gone. But no, he hired Ray Rhodes, who was a coach of the year.
Yep.
Then he hired Andy Reid, who was a coach of the year. And it was like, oh, look at his track record. And then, obviously more than that for Andy Reid, but with 14 years. But then he hired Chip, and then he hired Doug, and we all know the rest of that history lesson.
That's right. Since 2000, he's hired a coach. None of them have ever had a losing record.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why Tomlin makes sense, because that would give them still their power to hire their assistant coaches like they do. Farzy, I'm telling you, this is there's more drama around Philly than any. You guys starting to look like the Cowboys a little.
Oh, whoa. Jeez, man. It's the end of the interview. You want me to go out on that note?
No.
What the hell's the matter with you?
No, wait. I'll take this back and I'll do this. At least
right.
you guys win.
Thank you. I'm looking it up right now. Head coaching record. Yeah, he was Ray Rose was I say just, but he was a defensive coordinator for 3 years before he was the head coach in Philadelphia.
I didn't know he hired Rhodes. So he must have bought the team in 94 then.
He did buy the team in 94. He inherited Kotite. Kotite started talking a big game, and then I think Kotite never won again.
Let me tell you this, man. Jerome, Reggie, all them guys told me back when I was playing how bad this guy was, and he was just the spot. When he had his team meetings, all the defensive guys you could see in the meetings had their heads down like this. They had their heads, they just all the offensive guys like Randall and Keith Byers and Keith Jackson, they're sitting there like this. They're looking up at the guy because they got to listen to the guy. And the defensive guys have their head down. I don't know if Jeff Fisher was still in the building at the time.
He was not. I don't think
he had left for Tennessee.
I believe he had already left for Tennessee, because I'm looking at it right now. Wow. Zeke Bratkowski.
Yeah, OC. Okay. Was he the OC?
He was the OC. Bud Carson was the defensive coordinator. Peter Giunta was the defensive backs coach.
Yep, know him. Who is the D-line coach?
I swear I don't. Not listed.
Okay.
The running backs coach, though, I don't know this name, so I'm sorry, but his name was Dick Wood. You're welcome.
Good night. Hey, give me the veal. I'll take the veal instead of the chicken.
By the way, memory did serve me correctly. Kotite was 7-2, and then I believe after that game, it was against the Cardinals, he had the press conference like, yeah, we're 7-2. I need to talk about a contract extension with the ownership. Finished 7-9. They did not win for the rest of the day. They dropped 7 in a row. And then, a couple months later, Ray Rose.
With Kotite or Chip, who is the worst coach?
I'm gonna that's so I was like 12 then when Kotite was fired. So I'd have to say Chip, because he was so drastically wrong in thinking that he could change the ways of the NFL. Yeah. Yeah. Like if you're going to have that conviction that you can change it, you better change it. Otherwise you're going to look dumb. And well, that's pretty much what happened.
Farzy, when I was on the air in Tampa, there was a 5-year contract on the table for him to take the Buck job. And he declined it, went back to Oregon for a year, took the Eagle job the following year. I said this about him. I go, this guy wants to run 85 plays a game, okay? That works in college when you have 100 dudes on your roster.
Right. Yeah.
When you got 47 guys on your football team, that shit you're going to run your defense into the blue tent. You're not going to work like that. You're not going to really – the offense is going to struggle, but your defense is going to get destroyed. Is that what happened?
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. I remember when Chip Kelly would talk about time of possession, and he would talk about time of possession didn't matter. And I forget what the phrase is, but it's something along the lines of like, he who ignores time ignores life or something like that. But I was like, time doesn't matter. And he convinced a lot of people with, we had the ball for this amount of time, scored 7 touchdowns. They had the ball for that amount of time, scored 2. What did that prove? They stood around more than we did. And it's like, well, sure, there's going to be outliers in college, but not like in the NFL. You can't put your defense. I mean, that was the problem. His era changed my way of thinking a lot, because it really did highlight how bad it was when you don't have the time of possession at all even. And we saw time and time again throughout the season, the Eagles this year, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, defense back on the field. Defense looked lights out, baby, in the first half. End of the third quarter, they're fourth quarter, they're just lying dead on the floor. They can't even get up and tackle anybody. So that's something that really stuck out to me about Chip Kelly. But one thing I will tell you is I remember going to the first practice Chip Kelly ran, and I remember watching guys like Brent Selleck, who were carryover guys. And I'll never forget Brent Selleck, and I don't mean to, snitch on the guy or anything, but we all know it didn't work, the Chip Kelly thing. But I remember him running the sprints and all that stuff like they were at Oregon. And, they were the college kids, despite the fact that, most of these guys are veterans. And I'll never forget them running the sprints. And Brent Selleck, looks over at the media, and he just shakes his head, gives a big eye roll, and then goes back to running. Let's see if this works kind of thing, and then goes right back to running. The practices, I remember, looked like an assembly line of football. They looked very efficient. They looked like there wasn't a moment that was wasted, but I guess what some people would call a wasted moment, other people would call a coaching moment. And they wouldn't have those moments on the field. They'd wait to do it in the meeting room, essentially, which is another thing that really you shouldn't do. You should correct in the moment. And it was just a wild time, that whole era, man.
I can't tell you how I appreciate your time here. And I want to say this to you. So I get Angelo on almost Angelo, he can't go every week because he told me he's in retirement and it takes a lot out of him. I'm like, okay, Angelo. So every other week I get him on, and I get Howard Eskin on every week. Mm-hmm. And I ask these guys about sports talk radio, and I ask them about, how we were just talking about, you and I were talking about how the embargo thing on Friday, the Castellanos thing on, not reporting on that. How do you think sports talk radio is in Philadelphia right now? I mean, Farzy, for you not to be on a Monday through Friday, listen, and I'm not going to name any names. I'm not ripping anybody, but I mean, it's just a different world now, isn't it? I mean, it's just I'm not sure if you really want a show anymore, or if you want really people being Pied Pipers or being megaphones or whatever. I mean, being a messenger of something. It's just not the same to me. I mean, I'm doing a sports talk show in Tampa every morning on radio. And so I'm just I listen to the other guys and I listen to this and I'm like, man, these are not sports talk shows. These are they're more like infomercials. I mean, am I wrong for seeing it, or am I old man get off my lawn stuff?
In all honesty, I can't weigh in with an authoritative opinion on it, only because the sports talk radio world is not something I really listen to anymore. I mean, it's not something I ignore.
Why?
It's not something if I'm in the car, which I very rarely am nowadays, chances are I'm listening to K-pop Demon Hunters for my children more so than I'm listening to any sports talk radio.
Why have you moved away from it? Why have you moved away from it?
Well, I mean, because I'm busy.
Okay.
I'm working, I'm doing shows, I'm doing my research for my shows.
Okay.
I watch press conferences on my own. I honestly, I don't even read that many sports columns, opinion pieces, because I'm busy forming my own opinion. And the worst thing I think we could ever have is someone be like, you're just stealing that opinion from somebody else. And it's I didn't even read their opinion, so I don't even know what their opinion is. I'm more of the school of get the information and make the opinion. Don't get 5 opinions and then make your own. I make mine from the information I gather. I don't need 5 other people's ideas in my head. I rather watch the press conference. I rather draw my own conclusion. I rather get my own numbers. I rather do that kind of thing. If there's a I'll say this. I'm going to shout out somebody here. Jeff McClain, Tim McManus is another one.
Yeah.
These guys are so great at presenting information. Yeah. These guys, I know I'm getting information without wild hot takes. There might be certain things I'll read from other people where it's, this guy reporting something and I'll read it and I'll go, I could see this message being handed down from the Eagles. This is what they want out there. Okay. And I've had people talk to me in my career, and I've gone, if I was at the Novacare complex and people have told me, this is happening, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, they just want that out there. I'm not saying that. I know what, I'm not doing that, But there's been other aspects where I've heard something and go, oh, that's interesting. They don't want that out there, but I'm going to say it because I learned it, you know? But yeah, it's not something I ignore. I have friends. I still have many friends in sports talk radio. Obviously, they're great. I'll catch clips certainly in social media, what they're doing. It's not something I stray from. It's just, even when I was in sports talk radio, I didn't make it a point.
Yeah.
Like I listened to what the previous host was doing before I was on when I was at WIP. There was no show on the Fanatic when I was at the Fanatic before mine in the morning. So, I mean, it was like a nationally syndicated show, so I wouldn't even catch that. I've always been more committed to gathering information on my own as opposed to, oh, well, I heard so-and-so say this, so I'm going to take this from it. I think that's
create your own content.
Yeah, I never wanted. Yeah, I just maybe it's the journalism minor in me, but I never wanted this. I always thought maybe that's in some way, shape, or form plagiarism, like in my mind. Like make sure you're coming up with your own idea, basically.
I like it here. So, by the way, I want to make sure you're corrected on the NovaCare Center. It's the Jefferson Health Training Complex, right?
Yes.
Now. So we since you want to be factual here.
Yeah, right. Of course.
Yeah. So we have to go down that lane there. Farzy, absolutely great. Thank you so much for all this time, man. I mean, I can't thank you enough.
Yeah. Wow, that flew by. Yeah.
Absolutely. Hey, well,
My
the
pleasure,
Eagles
brother.
give you a lot to talk about, don't they? I mean, it's the team that keeps on giving. That's how I look at it.
Like the sands through the hourglass. These are the birds of our lives, my friend. Birds of our
And we will
lives.
end it on that, my friend. Thank you
buddy.
so much, Farzy. We'll catch you again, brother. Great
My
success
man.
to you. Thank you.
Thanks, buddy. See ya.
You got it. That is Mark Farzetta. Man, I love talking to him. That's so good, man. I love the fact, too, creating your own content. That's exactly what – listen, I read a whole bunch of stuff, and what I do is I give it the Big Sills work. And Xander's always giving me that, too. I could take the littlest thing. I'll listen to something, and I'll just make it my own, and I'll own it. And that's pretty much true, man. I will. I'll hear something, and somebody will not ever have gone down that lane, and I go down that lane. All right. Hey, my great friends at Morgan & Morgan, the number one injury law firm listen, there is no other injury law firm in America other than Morgan & Morgan with over $30 billion recovered. Nothing like it. And they're number one because why? They win. Told you about the family in Pennsylvania. They got $650,000 settlement. They ended up getting nearly $30 million in a settlement. Or the family down in Florida that got a $350,000 settlement. They ended up getting nearly $13 million. Go to forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. That's forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. And do me a favor. You tell them Big Sales sent you.
There's a reason Detective Johnson is the gossip king.
Oh, did you hear? Jackie and Tom
are getting a divorce? Sad.
Well, I heard that Ashley
Had work done on her face? Yeah, oof.
Just like there's a reason Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm. Injured? With over $25 billion recovered for our clients, there's a reason to go big.
bathroom. Okay.
Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Oh, okay.
Ignite your nights with free live entertainment daily, only at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia's Center Bar. 7 days a week, enjoy some of the region's top party bands, performers, and DJs as they take the stage in the heart of the casino action. Great cocktails, live music, and lively moments. It's all happening at Center Bar at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. Visit livecasinophilly.com for more details and the complete list of upcoming events. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica, who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Welcome to the Jet Setters and the High Rollers, to the Shot Takers and the Tastemakers, Welcome to the viewfinders, the thrill seekers, and the night owls. Welcome to everything you could possibly want on one 5-mile island. Welcome to the Wildwoods. Book your stay today.
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We go the extra mile to lend a helping hand. We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong. We've been deeply rooted in our communities for more than 85 years. And that connection to members has earned us our spot as the #1 health insurer in the region. So while you look out for your neighbors, know IBX is always looking out for you.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on Sports Grid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.
EAGLES. Eagles.
Hit the like button. Appreciate you guys very much. All right. Look at this here. Still got all of this here. We still got this. This is crazy. So much going on, man. No doubt. Now, here, let me go here. We're on the priority list for Howie Roseman. Is Jalen Hurts' contract extension? You know what, Bob? I'm going to open up the Bledsoe when I get. I'll open it up tomorrow, and we'll look at some of the players. Okay, promise. Some of you guys have asked me that, and I'll do it. Okay, I promise you. Okay. My dad can't watch Sills. Says he rambles too much. I tried. He watches the NFL Network for Eagles. Well, tell your father this. The NFL Network is owned by the owner of the football team. What kind of fair coverage do you think your dad's watching there? You think he's watching honest coverage? No disrespect to your dad, Forrest. The NFL Network is owned by the Eagles and the 31 other owners. So before you sit there and you watch the NFL Network, ask yourself, what kind of info are you getting? Just saying, should ask your pop, does he know who owns the network? It's state TV. Do you not agree, Forrest? If the NFL owners own the network, it's propaganda television, isn't it? Okay? It's propaganda TV. The National Football League owners own a network, right? By the way, I'm not ripping your pop at all. Not anywhere near there. I want to make sure. Hasn't been since Eisen and Dion were on. Yeah, because Dion didn't care. Sales Hurts' contract should be a lower priority. Really? Okay. He's got no guaranteed money going into this year. Really? Okay. So the quarterback, where everybody else's contracts, let me see here. Teams working on contract extensions for their quarterbacks. Let me see if I got that letter from the NFLPA. They always tell me who's getting contract. Okay. Then see if they let's see here. Okay. So here are the teams working on a contract extension. The Indianapolis Colts are working on a multi-year extension before Daniel Jones. before Daniel Jones becomes a free agent on March 11th. Let me see something here. So how many days until March 11th? Let's go here. How many days until March 11th? It's 13 days until March 11th. Basically 2 weeks. So Daniel Jones is expected to make $48 million a year. Okay? Here's another one. This is from the NFLPA. The Bears is proactively planning for a future long-term contract extension for Caleb Williams after his impressive season, per reports from the NFL agents. Caleb Williams, the Bears are working on a contract that would pay him north of $50+ million. Caleb Williams. So there's two. The Baltimore Ravens are in contact with Lamar Jackson's agent, and they are securing a contract extension for Lamar Jackson. I'm assuming that'll be north of 60 because the quarterback makes 52 right now. So there's 62. So Daniel Jones, Caleb Williams, Lamar Jackson. This will be his third contract. And they're talking of 60 on restructuring a contract. And extension, however you want to look at it. The New England Patriots are preparing for future financial commitments, including a potential extension after the 26th season for Drake May. Okay. That's going to be north of 50. $50 million. Jalen Hurts is signed through 2028. Jalen Hurts is 51.5 guaranteed for 2026. May receive an extension to adjust his salary to top-tier market levels. Right now, Jalen Hurts is under market level, according to the NFL Players Association. Jalen Hurts has a less than valued market salary for quarterbacks. That's not the point. Yale, he makes a lot of money. That's not the point. Why aren't they making it a priority? You don't think the agent wants to have Hurts make the most money? Why do you think A.J. Brown is concerned about the offense? Because of money. He's not. There's two things A.J. Brown is concerned about right now. Money and legacy. Well, Jalen has enough. That's not how this works. Okay? Big sales. Drake May has another 2 years. Might not be able to get AJ. Would rather trade him to Buffalo or Cleveland over New England. Yeah, but I think you get a 1-3 from what I'm hearing. I don't know why. Oh, and by the way, yeah, 1-3 from New England. Yeah. And now they're working on a new extension. Bob, this change definitely seems like it's testing Jalen more than Nick's. Nick being on the hot seat. Just saying. How come they're not addressing it? He's here. Let me ask the NFLPA this. We got a little help box, which is really dope. Like on my website, I got a code that I can go back and I can ask the NFLPA any question I want. Does Jalen Hurts have any guaranteed money in 2026? Okay. Jalen Hurts has significant guaranteed money in 26 under his 5-year deal. And fully guaranteed in 26. This includes a $20 million guaranteed signing. So this year he has guaranteed money. Let's see in 27. A portion of this 2027 salary becomes fully guaranteed early in the year. Let's see. So this is the last year of his guarantee. And by the way, Hurts' contract is not guaranteed in 28. So that's something to think about too. Still, a major part of Jalen Hurts' value from his last contract was his legs. He does not want to run. Correct. He's paid well for his arm talent. I think he's overpaid for it. I do. I think he's overpaid. By the way, let me go back here for a sec. I think there was a couple of these. Big Sills of my college stomping ground, spent 4 years at ETSU, 30 minutes from Gatlinburg. My sister first to get a degree in family. Real left coaster. Congratulations to you, man. That's pretty dope. Good for you, man. Yes, sir. Love that. You think they go secondary early? They've been meeting a lot with a lot of prospects. You know what? Sometimes you got to remember too that a lot of teams do at the draft. What they'll do at the combines, they'll start bringing in guys for like linebackers or offensive linemen, and they really want to draft an edge guy. And what they're going to do is they're going to try to keep you away from that guy. What you're trying to do is not telegraph what you're going to do. How many guys did they bring in last year? Wasn't it edge guys they brought in? A ton of guys that were edge guys a year ago, or was it DBs? I think they brought in a ton of DBs, was it? Kyle, what were the top 2 positions that the Eagles brought in a year ago? And they ended up drafting a linebacker. I'll show you what they did. If you go back and you watch like the 30 visits they had and what they did by bringing guys in, they completely went away from it. Yes, Sills, most don't understand that part. Yeah, what they did was what they'll do is they'll look at a position and they'll go, well, we really like this guy over here. I mean, we really. Hey, by the way, did they bring in Jahad Campbell in their visit last year? Was he one of the ones they brought in? Because sometimes you don't even bring the guy in. You meet him at his pro day, or you'll meet him somewhere like where if the player shows up to another pro day, something like that, right? Okay. Oh, okay. My boy, hey, listen. That's cool. Thanks, Big Z. Guys, listen. So I can't wait to see what happens tomorrow. You guys are wonderful. We appreciate you. Joe, thank you. Xander, thank you. Have a fun time with your family there too as well. Guys, we will see you tomorrow. 2 to 6. Joe, Xander, thank you very much. We'll see you tomorrow going 2 to 6. And we'll see you on the flip side.